original motion. He only wants to add one line. He says, can I put that one word on a piece of paper?
One word or one line?
No, just one word on this one. He just wants to add
These are
residence.
two different things, yeah.
So this one he's adding the whole line. I'm ready to read this out. This is Greg LeBrec. I said, I'll read this whole thing out for you.
Yeah, I mean, really, the motion is to amend by adding the word residence between the word.
But don't we have to have it?
No, you don't have to have it. But that's fine. Either way is correct.
Okay.
It doesn't,
Okay,
you don't
that's
have
fine.
to. Yeah.
Okay, so,
It's fine. No, it's fine.
all right, so I could say we already have 5 items. We're going to add a
You
sixth
don't have to
one.
read all that.
At 100 yet?
I don't know. I have no idea. Let me find out. All right, folks, thank you for coming. We're going to get started in a moment. Let's first start off with Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge of allegiance. Thank you so much for all of you for attending. We have a wonderful turnout. Welcome to the town meeting of 2026. We have a number of articles. Just a little bit of housekeeping rules. If you have an opinion about an amendment or a motion, please let me know. Go up to the microphone. If you come up once, you can indicate your name and your address. If you come up again, either for that article or for another article, we just need your name. Now keep in mind that when you speak, you may defend the position, or you may be in opposition of a position, or you may want a clarifying question. So on the first two, remember that what we try to do, if we are defending a position or if we object to a position, is that we want to convince people to vote your way. So courtesy, of course, is helpful. I do try to limit comments to about 1 minute. I might extend it to 2 minutes. If we have several comments that are similar and we're not adding more information, I'll ask people to perhaps curtail the messaging so that we can move on with the business. And the business of tonight, of course, is to go through the articles and to vote on important matters. Any questions? All right, well, we've got a few things we're going to start off with, but there are preliminary motions that I want to share with you first. And what that is, these are technical motions that we want to start at the beginning here. We've got some folks that I probably will call upon. I consider them subject matter specialists. They might have the inside scoop on an article, but unfortunately, they don't live in our town. So I need your consent and your vote to allow them to participate in our town meeting. That's the first one. It's a preliminary motion. And then the other, we did it last year and it seemed to be successful. We decided to waive reading the entire article. We will project it up on the screen. Of course, there will be summaries, and there will, of course, will be motions that you can read as well. So, do I have a motion for the preliminary motion for speaking of non-voters?
Mr. Moderator, if you will, I move that the town allow the following non-voters or non-residents to speak on issues at and relating to the affairs of the annual town meeting, including Adam Costa, Town Council; Rebecca Oldham, Town Administrator; Darcy Lepore, Library Director; Jeffrey Gillen, Chief of Police; Sam Joslin, Building Commissioner; Jonathan Sullivan, Town Planner, Conservation Agent; Annie Schindler, Executive Coordinator; and is it Sergeant Riley? Captain Riley of our police department as well. I need a second on that.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yep.
Motion passes. Thank you. Do I have a motion for
Yes.
waiving the reading of the articles?
Yes, I will move that the town waive the reading of the town meeting warrant articles, which articles are as printed in the annual town meeting warrant.
Second.
We have a second on a motion. Do we have any further or any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's start with the business.
Oh, you just got closed. You didn't ask.
Turn the warrant. Okay, sorry. Sorry, second time I'm doing this.
I have notified and warned the inhabitants of the town of Groveland who are qualified to vote in town affairs by posting true and attested copies of this annual town meeting warrant and annual election warrant at the Town Hall, Savoryville, and South Groveland. Said copies have been posted, not having been posted less than 14 days before the time of said meeting.
All right. Article 1 does not require any action. Kathy, would you like to read it, or shall I?
I thought we were waiving the reading of the articles.
The motion?
Oh, I'll move favorable.
All right, let's start with Article 2 then. There's no action on Article 1. With Article 2, it was submitted by the Conservation Committee. Select Board, what is your recommendation for Article 2?
Favorable action.
Could I have a motion for Article 2?
Move favorable action.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Emilio? Did you want to make a motion? All right, Emilio Dunn is on the Finance Committee, so he's going to step in front of the microphone here because he is not representing the Finance Board on whatever you'd like to do.
Hi, my name is Emilio Dunn, and we live at 358 Center Street. Again, I am on the Finance Board, Rec Committee, and Town Meeting Study Committee, but I'm standing here as a resident on this matter tonight, and I would like to motion to postpone this article indefinitely.
You want to postpone this Article 2 indefinitely. All right? Is there a second on that? Okay, we have a second. All right, let's have a discussion. You can open up the discussion. Others are invited as well as board members. Go ahead, Emilio.
All right. So at first, I'd like
By the way, just one clarification, my apologies. This requires a 2/3 vote unless we postpone it. Go ahead, please.
So first, I would like to mention that we respect the members of the Conservation Committee who put forth this article, the time and volunteership that they've put into our town, and we mean that. And however, simply, in this instance, we simply don't have enough information as a town to vote on this. I believe at this time, we need more time to make the right decision. If we were to take a moment and step into our shoes, it's 2021, the housing market's crazy, and your house sold faster than anticipated. You find this house in Groveland, and you go down this forever long driveway, and going down it, you think, oh boy, this would not be fun in the winter. But at the end of it, you feel the peace and privacy that you feel when you're completely surrounded by nature at the end of it, and suddenly that driveway is worth it. A couple of years later, we went out for a walk, and we discovered a piece of paper on the ground, reportedly by a surveyor tasked with building an estimate for an approved public trail running through the entire length of our property that we just finally settled into. Suddenly, that general public went from a quarter-mile away to, potentially feet away. The attorneys, title insurance, title search, the time, the sleepless nights that followed, et cetera. We eventually found out there were no easements on our property, which is great, and it actually had been denied years before by the previous owners. We gathered with 12 abutters and opposed this trail, which snaked through or next to a bunch of our properties with privacy and tax assessments in mind. Success. That was until the second iteration of this trail was put forth, with now a loop with the trail going behind all of our properties instead. Again, same exact outcome. But we eventually saw that was removed, and thank you for that. But then came this article. For background, the parcel of land that loop that I mentioned behind us all would have went through is a small, non-buildable, low-lying wooded wetland. It was donated to and accepted by the town. Unfortunately, there were no notifications to abutters, no details on why or understanding of the implication on the surrounding properties. The problem here tonight is that in our current CRs, it mandates public access. So back to the threat of, again, no privacy for any of the abutters on this, otherwise lot that really has no public benefit. And with that said, unfortunately, it invites everyone to look into our bathroom windows or bedroom windows and requiring now a fence when we all live kind of in the middle of the woods for the character of that particular land. And from our lot line, you could hit our house with a stone if you wanted to.
Point of order, could you wrap up?
Yep. So with that said,
With a firm conclusion.
Yes.
Quickly, please.
So the communication and transparency is why we're here tonight. We'd like to motion to postpone this for 3 reasons. First, this removes the town's flexibility. This would permanently remove the town's ability to have control over the destiny of this land. We've seen it at, like, for example, at VZ Park, where it removes this, that flexibility. Secondly, this is not the town forest. Well over half of Groveland's conservation properties are sufficiently protected with Article 97, as this one is as well today. And with that said, again, it's protected, so we don't necessarily see the need, and it's fundamentally different than the town forest. It's just a little lot of land in between a bunch of abutters. And then finally, there hasn't been enough time. On Thursday, the select board mandated in a emergency select board meeting a new transparent process to bring forth to public meetings with the Essex Greenbelt, as well as anything related to this parcel, and notify the abutters. So I believe it's only prudent to hit pause and let the abutters actually be involved in the new process before we revisit this maybe next town meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. The discussion, if it continues, is on, not the original motion, but on the second motion by Emilio, and that is to postpone, similar to tabling, but tabling is different. We're postponing, that's what he wants to do. Mike?
Maybe you can offer an explanation of the difference between tabling and postponing for
Sure.
us?
Tabling, and town council can correct me, tabling effectively will place a hold on that article and perhaps can be brought back later in the meeting. Postponement is just like what it sounds like. It could be done indefinitely.
Mike Dempsey.
Address?
Groveland Conservation Commission,
What address, please?
33 Uptack Road.
Thank you, Michael.
So we voted this article 2 years ago at annual town meeting 2024. Unfortunately, we were misguided by some information from town council that said we didn't have to get legislative approval. So the whole thing has already been approved. Really, tonight, all we're looking for is approval to go to the state legislature and get their approval to go forward on a conservation restriction. A conservation restriction doesn't prevent the town from doing anything other than how it's already protected. It's already protected under what's called Article 97, so it's really no different. Our purpose in this article is to fold it into the other 2 parcels at Town Forest, and primarily to have Essex County Greenbelt help us to protect and monitor the parcels, all 3 parcels, because it's beyond the commission, it's beyond the town to keep a good eye on parcels that belong to all of us. This article is not about trails. There's no easement going in there to any abutting properties. This is strictly a housekeeping article to make sure we can fully protect and help the town to monitor our conservation land. And I appreciate everybody's vote to turn down this effort to postpone this article. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Moderator?
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify, the select board did meet with the residents that asked to postpone on Thursday. It was not an emergency meeting. There was no emergency, but we did it as a courtesy to listen to their concerns and try to understand what potential problem they had with the conservation restriction on a piece of land that the town owns, putting it into the Greenbelt, which is a good thing. You know, it's a positive thing, and this would move it to legislature. So we did listen to the concerns. We heard from the residents that they did oppose a trail that was going to be a loop, and that the Conservation Commission removed the loop in response to the residents' concern. And in our response to the residents' concern, we supported that we asked the Conservation Commission to keep them apprised of any future meetings on this issue, because they said the biggest issue, the thing that caused them the most distress, was that they didn't know about this. They just kind of stumbled over it, and they weren't sure what it was and what was happening. But as you heard tonight from our Conservation Chairman, Michael Dempsey, this is a housekeeping item. It's moving a piece of land that was donated to the town into a conservation restriction, and it needs to go through legislature. And we would ask that you move ahead on this and not postpone or table or whatever the new term today is. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Please come up to the microphone, name and address. We're continuing the discussion on the motion to table. I'm sorry, motion to postpone.
Hi, hello.
Sorry.
My name's Jill Peabody, 38 Center Street. My question is a clarification question. Is the trail going to go through that property no matter what, whether it's postponed or tabled? So has that already been in place?
Mike, could you answer that question for us, please?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you repeat the question I didn't?
You can repeat the question to Michael if you'd like, privately.
I was confused by the second motion, and in that property line, is that trail going to go through there regardless?
No. This article, there's no trails proposed. We have an article for some trails later on in Article 26, but there's no plans for any trails on this parcel.
So I don't understand, then, I don't understand. What is the importance?
So the
Emilio.
import, oh, sorry, do I need to?
You go up to the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Let's try to wrap this up with the answer to the question.
The importance in this case is that, again, the Article 97 already protects that. And so what is the necessity for the CR that then potentially, based on our current CRs, mandates public access to otherwise a very private setting with all of the abutters around that parcel that serves as a natural buffer today. That's all.
Any further discussion? Michael, go ahead.
So just to clarify that, the CR is no different than Article 97 as far as protection and access.
Could you define CR, please?
I'm sorry, the conservation restriction.
Conservation
So-
restriction, CR. Thank you.
Right now, it's open to the public. Anybody can go in there. It's protected for the residents of Groveland. As I said before, the reason for the CR is to be able to take the advantage of having a third party that helps us to monitor and protect the parcel, since it's a difficult job for any town department to do that kind of thing. So it's worth doing.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
Kathy Miltsakos, Baldwin Terrace. My question is, if this is property that we're not going to do anything with, why do we need it to be in the green belt? I'm not sure. And do they have the authority to do anything to this property after if this were agreed upon?
Michael?
Like many of the other open space parcels that the town owns, this parcel is like all of them. It's donated to you, to the residents of the town, as open space. So it's really, the commission's job is to make sure that we keep these spaces open, accessible. Plenty of people, unfortunately, live along things like the community trail next to town forest, in Meadow Pond, where I live on Uptack Road. There's a number of houses that abut open space. And people like that kind of thing. Unfortunately, it seems like some people don't, and it's unfortunate, but I think we have to weigh the greater good here of protecting open space that belongs to all of us and not necessarily just try to placate somebody else's unfortunate decision to try to take it away from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Emilio, I'll allow the comment only if it's something different you haven't mentioned. It's got to be really different. Don't want to repeat the same things we've heard.
I spoke on
From anybody.
Friday for the first time to the Essex County Greenbelt, who upheld that they can help if someone builds a shed or takes down trees, for example, on that property. That is the protection that they give. And with that said, again, I just think that I would like to postpone, not say no, but just postpone this so that we can learn more and make a decision based on all of the context.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion?
My second question wasn't answered. Why donate it? Why do we bring in Greenbelt if we already have it protected? That question was not answered.
I did answer it because we are not capable of the protection and monitoring that's required. We have 3 other conservation restrictions on our larger conservation and open space property. So this is nothing new. We're not coming up with a new thing just for this parcel or just for town forest. We do conservation restrictions, and Groveland is not alone. Essex County Greenbelt is very active in protecting open space, and so that's what we want to do. We need the help to monitor it in particular. They come in, make sure there's no encroachment, nothing going on there that somebody else might not notice. So that's why we're doing it.
Any further discussion? Go ahead, sir. Your name and...
So my name is Bob Bolognese. I live at 51 Wood Street. This property directly abuts my backyard. I would just like to say that currently the town owns it, manages it. There's nothing that really happens there. There's really no people that go through there. There's no need to police anything or do anything. I just feel that if we to give this to the Greenbelt, any decisions on this property would come from, say, the legislature or nowhere local at all. So by giving this property to the Greenbelt, I feel that we're losing complete control of the property. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Mike, real quick, I'm ready to move to a vote.
Yes,
And I'll
I am
explain,
too.
I'll explain the vote.
We're not giving this property to Greenbelt.
He's answering the question, please.
We're not giving this property to Greenbelt. Greenbelt is becoming a partner of the town to help protect it for the residents of Groveland.
Thank you. I appreciate the fact that we've spent 30 minutes on this, but this is a critical issue, and challenges are being made and clarifications are being made. So I retain the opportunity to make sure that the issue is well treated. Now, we're going to move on to a vote. Let me explain this. We're going to vote on the motion that was made by Emilio Dunn, and that is to postpone this amendment. Should that vote fail, I'm going to ask for a reading of the original motion, and then I'm going to ask for a second, and then a discussion, and then we might have an opportunity to vote for the original motion as written. Is that understood? Very good. Okay, very good. So on the motion to postpone Article 2, all in favor? All those against?
No.
Should we get a, we need a 2/3, so I think we're going to need to, oh, I'm sorry, simple majority on that. But even then, I think it's close. I leave it up to you, your discretion. All right, so those who voted for, please raise your hand. Meaning to postpone it. If you want to postpone it, raise your hand. Okay, now those who do not want to postpone, let's just make it easy that way. Say, we want to go back to the original motion. We do not want to postpone. Raise your hand, please. All right, folks, so we have 68 who have voted not to postpone the article. Could I have a reading of, sorry? 44 on the 4. It has failed, so the motion made to postpone has failed. Now we're going to start all over again.
Move favorable.
Move favorable on Article 2. Do I have a second? Do I have any discussion?
You want me to read the whole thing?
Hold on, please. No, I think we're fine.
No, it's this.
I'm sorry, you do need to read the motion, that's what I originally.
You want the whole motion?
Yes, please. And
He wants the whole
It was
motion.
my fault, because I said that and then I changed it.
All right, that's fine. To determine whether the town will vote to authorize the Select Board to petition the Massachusetts Legislature for an act approving the removal of a parcel of land identified by the Town of Groveland Assessors Map as Map 8, Lot 4L, Wood Street, from protection as natural and open space under Article 97 of the amendment to the Massachusetts Constitution, and if the legislature so approves, authorize the transfer of said land from the Conservation Commission to the Select Board for the purpose of conveyance, and to authorize the Select Board to convey the gift of a conservation restriction to Essex County Greenbelt Association, or take any other action relative thereto.
Okay, we have the motion. Do I have a second? Any further discussion on the original article? All in favor? Okay. Did I get a second? I heard a second, I heard a second, that's why we, all in favor, please?
Aye.
All against?
No, it's going to come out the same way. So.
This will require 2/3, so we're going to, so all in favor of passing the amendment as written? All in favor, raise your hand, please. The article.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. I'm here. Still here.
All not in favor, please raise your hand. We're doing some wicked math out here without slide rules.
Two-thirds of 140. Maybe 100. 80 is, you got 130. So,
So 73 plus 34. 73 plus 34
you said 107. 165.
73 divided by 107 is 0.68.
So, folks, the measure passes. We had 73 that voted yes and 34 against. So Article 2 passes. Article 3 was submitted by the Select Board. Finance Board, what is your recommendation for Article 3?
I don't know what it is. I know, I'm going to.
Finance Board votes favorable action.
Select Board, what is your recommendation for Article 3,
The
please?
Select Board recommends favorable action and moves that the town authorize the Select Board to lease 3 residential units located at 199 Washington Street and 201 Washington Street on terms and conditions to be collectively negotiated by the Select Board and the Conservation Commission to support VZ Park.
Okay, the
Second on that.
motion is made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Article 3 passes. Article 4 was submitted by the Select Board. Finance Committee, what is your recommendation?
Finance Board moves favorable action.
Conservation Committee, what is your recommendation, please? Conservation Committee? Conservation Committee, Mike? Okay, Conservation Committee favorable. And what is the recommendation of the Select Board on Article?
Select Board recommends favorable action and moves favorable action.
Okay. Could I have a motion, please?
Move favorable action.
Second.
Oh. I move that the town authorize the Conservation Commission to rent the on-site buildings and amenities at VZ Park for short-term use on terms and conditions to be negotiated by the Conservation Commission to support VZ Park.
Okay. Do I have a second on the motion?
Second again.
Well, we have to read the motion first. Thank you.
Suspend with reading.
No, let me clarify. We've suspended reading the article, but we do need to read the motion,
Okay, so I read the motion.
which
just-
we've done, and now we have a second. Now we ask for discussion. Any discussion on?
I have an amendment.
Okay, Mike wants to submit an amendment. So the way this works is we have a motion on the floor, so now we have a motion to change that or delete it or materially change it. So it has to be put on a piece of paper, which we have a Groveland Town Meeting motion to amend. So go ahead, Michael, read the motion.
Sure.
That you want to, the amendment version.
Sure. So this is Mike Dempsey representing the Conservation Commission, 33 Uptack Road is my address. To see if the town will authorize the Conservation Commission to provide any rental agreement valued at less than $35,000 or any updated limit according to the Uniform Procurement Law, Mass General Law, Chapter 30B, Sections 1 and 2, of any buildings, facilities, or residential units at VZ Park on terms and conditions to be negotiated by the Conservation Commission to support VZ Park or take any action relative thereto.
Okay. So now, what we're going to do is I'm going to ask for further discussion on this amended motion that Michael just made, including comments from anybody on the committees or boards to clarification.
Mr. Moderator,
Go
point
ahead.
of order.
Go
What
ahead.
article are we is the amendment being made to?
4.
So can we read the article with the amendment in it so that we can understand what this article is now? Because it seems like it's materially changed from what was posted, and I would wonder legally if you can do that at the town meeting, because the intent of the Article 4 is the short-term usage of the property of VZ Park for, parties and such, yes. So I question if we've changed the, what was posted
Well,
legally.
I asked for comments, so thank you, that's an important comment.
That's a
you-
point of order. I'm asking for a
Well,
lawyer to tell us whether or
You've
not.
asked for a legal opinion? and
Yes,
I'm-
please.
I'm getting one. Right now, live and unrehearsed.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and through you, Adam Costa, Town Council. So what the Selectwoman is referring to is the requirement that any amendment that is proposed at town meeting to a warrant article be within the scope of what was included in the warrant as posted. And determinations of scope are highly subjective. They're, in the first instance, left to the moderator, but it's a frequent occurrence for the moderator to defer to or to seek the assistance of town council in making these determinations of scope. I think the suggestion is, and I tend to agree, that the motion that mirrors what Article 4 states was to authorize the Conservation Commission to rent on-site buildings amenities at VZ Park, quote, for short-term use on terms and conditions to be negotiated by the Conservation Commission. The amendment, as I have it before me, is, again, to authorize the Conservation Commission, but is a bit different. It says to authorize the Conservation Commission to provide any rental agreement valued at less than $35,000 or any updated limit under the Uniform Procurement Law of any buildings, facilities, or residential units at VZ Park on terms and conditions to be negotiated by the Conservation Commission to support VZ Park. The issue there is that it's expanding the scope of what was posted in the warrant. The warrant was limited very specifically to buildings and amenities being leased, quote, for short-term use, and I don't see that modifier within the amendment. If the objective is to include that modifier, I don't have so much of an issue with the reference to the $35,000 limit. I don't know what happens in the event that something exceeds the $35,000 limit, because that wouldn't be within the scope of the amendment. But my concern is that the original article referred only to short-term use, whereas the new motion, the amendment to the article, would expand that scope, in my mind, in a manner that the warrant didn't provide adequate notice of to the public, to all of you and to anybody who might be at home having read the warrant and decided not to come out based upon what it received, they received notice of. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you. I'll consider that to be, and we should all consider that to be as part of the discussion, so let's continue.
So my question would be, what is short-term use? Because I think the article is very vague. It says short-term use is no definition. Does that include, wedding, say, that lasts one day? Does it include a wedding that lasts 3 days? Does that include a camp that's there for 8 weeks? Does it include rental of an office space for 1 year? I mean, what's short-term use? There's no definition of it in that article, so it's very vague. What I did was add from the Uniform Procurement Law 30B, which defines clearly there's no such thing as a short-term use. It's based on the dollar amount. If the rental is under $35,000, then it doesn't require such strict procurement rules. If it's over $35,000, then it does, and it actually would then fall into what we voted in Article 3.
Okay, Michael, you asked the question. I'm going to see if there's anyone that could answer that question to your satisfaction, and if that happens, would you consider withdrawing the motion to amend? Does anybody have a question, an answer to Michael's question?
Yeah, so I'd like to speak, Mr. Moderator. If you read the summary of the article, it clearly states that short-term rentals are defined as limited duration use for private or public events, including but not limited to weddings, birthday celebrations, meetings, and similar functions. So in essence, the goal there was for short-term, usage of the property to let that fall with the Conservation Commission, as opposed to residential leases and things like that, which is covered by Article 3.
Any further discussion or comment?
Mr. Moderator?
Yes.
So does that count? Because that's not in the article. summary, but the summary is just an explanation of the article. It's not what we're actually voting upon.
Well, you could submit the motion to amend to include that definition. Withdrawing this one and inserting another one, that's technically how to treat it.
Mr. Moderator?
Go ahead, please.
May I ask a question through you to the town attorney? We just approved Article 3 that clearly defines how the properties are leased at this address for lease purposes, which is a long-term commitment for someone to live there. And if the amendment to Article 4 were allowed and it were to pass, how would that work with what we've just voted on Article 3? I mean, it would be in opposition, I would say, but I don't know.
May I, Mr. Moderator, through you? So Article 3 authorized the Select Board to lease the 3 residential units on terms and conditions that are collectively negotiated by the Select Board and the Conservation Commission. Article 4 is somewhat different in the sense that it's speaking about on-site buildings and amenities. I don't think the intention there, although you can probably speak to it better than I can, is that reference is to the residential units, because I understand there are other non-residential units or buildings or amenities on site that are also leased for things like the weddings, birthday celebrations, meetings, and other functions that are referred to in the summary. So I think the intention there with respect to Article 4 is to refer to short-term use of those other structures. I wouldn't refer to a lease as a short-term use, even though certainly there can be shorter-term leases as opposed to longer-term leases. I don't necessarily view Article 3 as being at odds with Article 4, either as written or as proposed to be amended.
Okay, very good. Any further discussion on this matter? All in favor of the amended motion? Want me to repeat it? To see if the town will, this is what Michael Dempsey, to see if the town will authorize the Conservation Commission to provide any rental agreement valued at less than $35,000 or any updated limit according to the Uniform Procurement Law, MGL, Chapter 30B, Sections 1 and 2, of any buildings, facilities, or residential units at VZ Park on terms and conditions to be negotiated by the Conservation Commission to support VZ Park or take any action relative thereto. Does anybody need any further
Yes, Mr.
clarification?
Moderator, point of clarification.
Go ahead, please.
It says that article then refers to the residential lease units, and we've already covered that in Article 3. And that was my question as to why this amendment would not work. Just take the word residential.
That's correct. That's correct. This would now be at odds because it references residential. I didn't see that. This would be what? This would now be at odds with the previous. Residential units. Correct, because it references residential.
So the words residential units would be at odds with the previous article. Go ahead, please.
I'd like to.
Your name, please?
Michelle Denault. I live at 201 Washington Street, the property we're speaking of. I'd like to do a motion to reconsider Article 3. I did have a motion, but I didn't hear you ask for, the first time you asked if people wanted to speak or were there any amendments, and that didn't happen this time. It happened so quick.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, no one was asked to speak, no one was asked for amendment.
What article are you referring to? 3, okay. All right. So what would you like to do? Would you like to make an amendment?
Yeah, I did have an amendment for Article 3, but perhaps I could now change it to an amendment, a motion to reconsider Article 3.
Okay, hold on just a second.
What do I do with this one? Well, you can't interrupt. You have a motion on the table and an amendment on the table in Article 4. Once Article 4 is voted, if they want to go back to 3, that's something they can do. Right, she's talking about 3. Right, but they can't do it in the middle of Article 4.
Right, okay, we have to take care of Article 4 first. Okay. All right, so the amended motion, all in favor for Article 4? We can remove the residential units.
Well,
I can't.
you can't.
So Mike, where's Michael? Right here. Michael, so the issue is the word residential units will affect Article 3. So would you remove that and resubmit the amended motion?
Unfortunately, both of those articles as originally put in there are not very well written, because the first one limits it to residences, but there's many. Somebody else talking? The first one limits to residences, but there's other facilities and parts of the park that may be rented under a lease. And then the second one throws in this short-term rental thing. Really, both of them should have been written under the Uniform Procurement Act 30B to show that what counts is, and if you read 30B, what counts is the value of the agreement, whether it's an agreement, whether it's a lease, whatever it is. What counts is the value. If it's over $35,000, you have to go through an extended procurement process with a request for proposals. If it's under $35,000, you do not have to do an extended procurement process. You have to do many similar things. You have to determine the value. You have to determine the length of the agreement, and also any other things that go along with why you're renting the place, limits or uses of the property. So those should have been put in this article, not these vague statements of rental, short-term use, or whatever. You know?
All right, thank you.
It's very confusing.
Hold on a sec. I'm not going to take another motion until we settle this one. However, I will, if you have some discussion point, clarification, please continue.
Just with it, the way it's written, where it directly goes against Article 3, I don't see how we can vote on it with it saying residential units in it.
You're talking about the amended motion.
Correct.
The amended motion is unacceptable to you.
Correct.
Why, please?
Because it goes against Article 3 that we just voted.
Goes against Article 3. Okay, very good. I have a question for the town council. Is it possible at town meeting that folks can vote on things that cannot have any legal effect or be implemented, theoretically?
To you, Mr. Moderator. So it is possible. I'm not sure that that's what would happen in the event that Article 3 and Article 4 were to conflict. I think that there is a possibility that authority would be vested in two different boards or commissions, which would create potentially significant logistical challenges, but wouldn't necessarily conflict in a way where the authority could not be carried out legally. But practically, logistically, there would be a conflict if Article 3 vests a select board with the authority to lease residential units, and then Article 4 vests the Conservation Commission in certain circumstances with the authority to lease residential units. If I could go one step further in answering your question, but also referring to the previous speaker and these references to $35,000 in the Uniform Procurement Act, I agree with what the previous speaker is saying relative to the threshold under the state's Uniform Procurement Act. Once you hit the $35,000 in value, whether it's a lease or it's a sale of property, you're then subject as a municipality to a more comprehensive process whereby you have to advertise, go through a request for proposal process to give opportunity to anybody who may be interested in leasing a property or acquiring a property. My understanding, and again, I'll defer to the Select Board as the proponent of both Articles 3 and 4, is that the reason there's no reference to that $35,000 threshold or references to the Uniform Procurement Act is because that's not really the objective of these articles. That law, that state law, the Uniform Procurement Act, has to be complied with no matter what. You don't have a choice as town meeting. The Select Board doesn't have the authority as a Select Board to decide when to comply with the state's Uniform Procurement Act. It applies no matter what. The objective of these two articles was to address a specific provision you have in your town bylaws, section 155-5, which says that whenever it shall be necessary to execute any deed conveying land, and that would mean an interest in land as well, like a leasehold interest, or other instrument required to carry into effect any vote of the town, it shall be executed by the Select Board or a majority of them on behalf of the town, unless the town otherwise votes in any special case. So I think that the objective here was to be explicit in granting authority in the case of Article 3 to the Select Board, in the case of Article 4 to the Conservation Commission, to lease either these residential units or these non-residential buildings, short-term, long-term, on VZ Park property, for you as town meeting to give that authority to one or both of those two different public bodies.
Thank you. Any further comments or discussion?
Laurel Pahalski, 125 School Street.
Can you speak a little bit closer?
Laurel Pahalski, 125 School Street.
Thank you.
The way I read this is there's only one thing you need to change in Article 4, would be to rent the non-residential on-site buildings and amenities. The Select Board would have the places that people live. This is for celebrations, camps, whatever, would be the Conservation Commission, but not in charge of the buildings where people live. Am I correct or not? So can we make an amendment to just add that one non-residential?
I have an amendment already on the floor.
I know, but I'm saying-
We'd have to submit an amendment to change it.
Kathy Malsakos, 10 Baldwin Terrace, Groveland. I have one question. Have we ever rented any of the facilities that are mentioned in Article 4 for more than $35,000?
Does anybody have an answer to that question?
No.
Thank you. Miss? Your name, please?
Michelle Donalds again. I would just like to say something in response to what the town council had just said.
Thank you.
In regard to the town bylaws, they state unless there was a special vote. I have, this is from 1995. It's a town vote, a motion under Article 1. There was a warrant issued, and it states, in regard to the planning, there was actually extensive meetings, 1995, 96, 97, every year. There's things reported, and this says, for conservation purposes to be under the management and control of the Conservation Commission pursuant to Chapter 40, Section 8C of the general laws, and to appropriate and authorize the treasurer, so that it was voted on. Many times this language is on all the votes, and actually the language is in the self-help grant agreement as well, specifically that the management of the property in whole be the Conservation Commission do that.
Okay. Thank you for that information.
And if I have some documents I want to make part of the minutes, I can do that.
Okay. Any further discussion or comments on this issue? Yes, please, your name and address.
Diane Plentemere, 22 Mill Street. All of VC Park, the care, custody, and control, as Michelle said, was initially documented to be under the care, custody, and control of the Conservation Commission. It has been that way for 30 years. Why do we need to change anything? It's been working fine. Everybody who lives there has been treated appropriately. All of the leases, all of the rentals, short-term, long-term, have been going very well. The park has been a community center for weddings, celebrations, parties, funerals. We all know that. Meeting space for nonprofits, places for our library, our schools. It's been working fine for 30 years. Why do we need to change anything? It needs to be under the care, custody, and control of the Conservation Commission, as it has been. Thank you.
Any further discussion or comments, please? Any clarifying questions on this motion as amended? All in favor?
The amendment.
I'm sorry, what? Go ahead, Mike.
Can you say we're taking a vote now on the amendment?
Yes, okay. We're taking a vote now on the amendment. I'm going to read it again. And this is the one that you wrote.
Yes, you don't have to read it.
To see if the town will authorize the Conservation Commission to provide any rental agreement valued at less than $35,000 or any updated limit according to the Uniform Procurement Law, MGL, Chapter 30B, Sections 1 and 2, of any buildings, facilities, or residential units at VZ Park on terms and conditions to be negotiated by the Conservation Commission to support VZ Park or take any action relative thereto. I'm going to move the question. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? No. So the amended motion fails. Now,
Make a motion on Article 4?
yes, please.
I move that the town authorize the Conservation Commission to rent the on-site buildings and amenities at VZ Park for short-term use on terms and conditions to be negotiated by the Conservation Commission to support VZ Park.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Article 5.
You have to ask for the approval.
Ask for no's and then you have to declare the vote.
So weird.
You didn't ask for no's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You didn't declare the vote.
Oh.
Ask for no's and then declare it.
Who voted against? I didn't ask that? Oh, sorry. Who voted against that? All against? Okay.
Okay.
So the
Passes.
the motion passes. The Article 4 passes. Article 5 was submitted by the Select Board. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the Select Board, please?
Select Board recommends favorable action.
We're going to require a two-thirds vote. Do I have a motion for Article 5, please?
I'll make a motion that the town change the use of the land known as 196 King Street, more particularly described in a deed recorded in the Essex South Registry of Deeds in Book 43085, page 559, to land for disposition and authorize the Select Board to dispose of same and to authorize the Select Board to enter into and negotiate all necessary documents as a Select Board deem appropriate in order to effectuate the disposition of said parcel.
Okay, motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Article 5 passes. General bylaws. Article 6 was submitted by the town administrator. What,
Before we move to Article 5, can we go back to Article 3, like we just spoke about during Article 4? Did we not say when we're done with Article 4, we're going to go back to Article 3, or am I crazy?
Point of order to reconsider, the prevailing side needs to vote, I think, but you can check with the town attorney.
so you can make a,
There was no discussion on Article 3. Can we open it for
we
discussion?
had a discussion, but,
No, we did not.
so let's have a motion to reconsider. That's what you want to do?
Yes, please.
Would you like to make that motion? Please state that.
Yes, I'd like the motion to reconsider Article 3, please.
Okay. Do I have a second for the reconsideration of Article 3?
Skylar, 201 Washington Street.
Thank you. Okay, any discussion, please?
You have to vote on the motion.
Okay, I'd like to have a vote. Who is in favor of reconsidering Article 3? Aye. Those against?
No.
Okay, so we're going to reconsider. Do I have any comments or questions?
If I could make the motion again, Mr. Moderator? And also point through you to the town attorney that typically a reconsider requires the prevailing side to ask for the reconsider. But the motion that was made is one that is in collaboration with the Conservation Commission, that the town authorized the Select Board to lease 3 residential units located at 199 Washington Street and 201 Washington Street on terms and conditions to be collectively negotiated by the Select Board and the Conservation Commission to support VZ Park.
Comment or question?
Get a second?
Second.
So, I'm sorry, it's been approved, the motion to reconsider?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So initially, I had an amendment to Section 3, and my request was that, all right, well, so if we're reconsidering, I can now put my amendment in?
Yes.
I have an amendment. I'd like to strike the Select Board as the leasing authority and insert Conservation Commission where applicable, consistent with the original acquisition agreements. It is in the Nuns Hill deed before the purchase that the Conservation Commission would manage. Also consistent with prior town meetings and votes that directly handed, I submitted one that handed the managing authority of the entire property and its buildings to Conservation Committee. And maybe even more importantly, we're forgetting about the self-help grant. These funds were used to buy this property and be given to the town. And it says directly in the self-help grant, it's a binding grant agreement. And one of the terms is Conservation Commission management. And I've also attached, in the papers I gave you, I've attached the original application where they applied for the self-help grant, because it was said before, there was a last month, or there was another meeting on whether to vacate all 3 tenants. It was said that 30B procurement laws did not apply and we should be vacated. And that is continuing, by the way. So that's why I don't think any management changes at this point in time should really be, I mean, it seems a little preemptive. We have this, it might not be major to you guys, but there are 3 families there. We all have children, by the way. I've lived there for 13 years, and we all do volunteer work at the park. We're stewards of the park. We look over the park. So these are major life decisions for the family, and the documents don't even support a change in management authority. But that is a separate issue on whether to rent to us or not. And I would like to strike the Select Board as far as the managing body and replace that with Conservation Committee. Okay. And I've also given some, I've given some documents showing that it seems like it's a requirement under the terms.
So would you like to make an amendment to the motion for reconsidering Article 3? And if you do, we're going to have to put it on a piece of paper.
Okay, so I had one prepared today.
Okay.
Let me see. It says I move to amend Article 3 by striking Select Board as leasing authority and replace with Conservation Commission.
Okay, Michelle, let's go ahead and listen to your motion to amend.
Okay, I move to amend Article 3 by striking Select Board as the leasing authority and inserting Conservation Commission where applicable, consistent with the original acquisition paperwork, prior town votes to hand management authority to the committee, as well as the terms listed in the self-help grant agreement and to the longstanding management of VC Park.
Okay. That's an amended motion. Do I have a second? Any further discussion or comment? All in favor? Aye. All against? Okay, so the amendment has been,
Mr. Moderator,
hold on, yes.
can you please read the motion with the amendment in it to see if it makes any sense?
Which motion are you referring
The
to?
motion that I put on the floor and that was just amended, that you just allowed it to be amended.
Well, that's part of the rule. We can have, after reconsideration, we voted for that, and she made an amendment.
Well, what is the new motion now with the amendment in it that we need to vote on?
She just read it out. We can.
No, that was an amendment. That was not a motion. She was amending the motion. I didn't see how that fit in with
Isn't
the
that a
motion. So I think we have a point of order.
Hold on, please. Isn't that a motion?
She made a motion.
Yeah, that's an emotion.
Right, now you vote the amended motion.
Right, but I did that.
Right, well, you voted the amendment. Now it's amended, now you have to read out the whole motion. You have to vote
Which
the
motion, the original?
The original motion with the amendment.
I have to read both.
All you voted is for motion to amend the article.
So I
now
read the original motion
I'm sorry, I
plus
have
the
it
amended.
here.
You have to read the original motion as amended.
As amended,
The
okay.
amendment worked, with the amendment worked.
Okay, let me read the original motion as amended.
Right.
So, let me do this here.
So I think it's going to say that the town authorizes the conservation commission to lease 3
Give it
residential
to him, okay.
at 201.
Yeah, because I don't have a,
She's just striking select board and inserting conservation commission wherever applicable.
so I read this.
You already read this and this was already voted, but now this constitutes an amendment to the original motion, but now you have to vote the motion that's on the floor. All you voted is the amendment. Now you always go back to the motion. So the motion is going to say that the town authorized the conservation commission to lease 3 residential units located at 199 Washington, 201 Washington, on terms and conditions to be negotiated by the conservation commission to support VZ Park.
All right, I'm going to read the motion as amended, that the town authorizes the Conservation Commission to lease 3 residential units located at 199 Washington Street and 201 Washington Street on terms and conditions to be negotiated by the Conservation Commission to support BZ Park. All in favor? All against? Okay. The amended version passes.
Least town meeting vote.
Let me return to Article 5, which I started a little while ago. Article 5 requires a 2/3 vote.
Yeah, it is Article 6.
I'm sorry. Article 6 was submitted by the town administrator. What is the recommendation of the select board, please?
I have a point of order.
What's the
There have been
point of?
discussion on the amendment on Article 3. Just throwing it out there,
We did have a discussion. I thought it was,
not when you reread it. Because I was ready.
what's your comment? Go ahead, please.
Well, it doesn't matter now if you voted, are you going to re-vote it?
Well, you can always ask for another
Oh,
reconsideration.
man, all right.
What's the comment, please?
Well, it's pretty long if you want me to read the whole thing, but I'm going to ask for a motion to reconsider.
Okay. Hold on, please. We're going through the rules book.
Okay.
It's really left to your discretion because your bylaws don't address whether there can be multiple motions to reconsider. Some moderators are limited to reconsideration once, otherwise. So I can say no. Yeah, otherwise how many times you reconsider it? This happens, is it going to be a third
It's not in our bylaws. Would you like to make that comment? I'm not going to allow it, and he'll explain why.
Okay.
Mr. Moderator, so the question that you just asked me was whether reconsideration is appropriate or allowable. My answer to you is that your bylaws aren't specific, nor is town meeting time specific about multiple attempts to reconsider an article. It's left to the moderator's discretion. some moderators, I might go so far as to say many moderators, won't allow for multiple reconsiderations for obvious reasons, because there could be a reconsideration now, a second time, there could be a reconsideration in 30 minutes, a third time, and we could be here in 2 hours, and there could be a fourth or a fifth or a sixth reconsideration. So it is left to the moderator's discretion whether to allow multiple attempts to reconsider the same article.
So in the absence of bylaws that would allow it, I won't allow it. We're going to move on to the next article. Article 6 was submitted by the town administrator. What is the recommendation of the select board?
Favorable action.
Do I have a motion for Article 6?
I move that the town delete Chapter 111, Article 3, Capital Improvement Planning Committee of the Town of Groveland General Bylaw, and add a new chapter, Capital Improvement Bylaw, as printed in Article 6 of the warrant. So,
Do I have a second? Any discussion?
by way of explanation, if I could, Mr. Moderator?
Please.
Thank you. I think very simply, we don't have a capital improvement planning committee, so now we have a capital improvement bylaw instead.
Any further question?
I have an amendment. Sorry, Joe?
Yes. The amendment, go ahead, Greg. By the way, the amendment that, I have a copy of it. Explain to us what you want to change. Simple enough.
I guess. It actually is very simple.
Your name and address, please.
Greg LeBrecq, 11 Baldwin Terrace.
Right, thank you.
Under number 3, submission of capital projects, I request that we put after the word, after and committees, take out and add, as well as, and residents. Boards, committees, employees, they tend to submit capital projects that benefit their department, their committee, but residents should be able to submit a capital project as well as anybody else. They drive through towns. Little League people may want to submit something, just gives them the option so they can drop it off and no one can say, you're not listed because you're not one of these things. Just add residents to it.
All right, could I have that, want to take a look at it? So what you're doing is we're looking at the motion as written, you're just adding one word, residents, and you made your case why.
And residents.
Mr. Moderator, we accept the friendly amendment.
Okay, any further discussion? Yes.
Hi, Eleni York, 7 Abbott Circle. As I'm reading this, does this give the town administrator the last and only word on who approves these capital gains?
Who would like to answer
Capital
that question? Would anybody ask?
Is
answer
she
that?
the only one who gets to say?
Mr. Moderator?
Go ahead.
No, the capital projects still go before the financial board and the select board, and the departments as well.
But she has final say, is that true?
No, we continue to review, and we recommend and move, as you see right here tonight. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions or comments? All in favor
Aye.
of the amended motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay, let me read the original motion.
Mr. Moderator, I accepted the friendly amendment. if that
Okay,
was-
thank you. Just for clarification, we're not reading the articles, but again, all in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay. Article 6 passes as amended. Article 7 was submitted by the town administrator. What is the recommendation of the select board?
Is there a concern? Wait. What's wrong?
Go ahead.
We recommend favorable action on Article 7.
Could I have a motion, please?
I move that the town amend Chapter 142 Personnel Bylaw of the Town of Groveland General Bylaw as printed in Article 7 of the warrant.
Okay, do I have a second to the motion?
Second.
Any discussion? For Article 7, all in favor?
Aye.
All against?
I couldn't get up quick enough.
You have a comment on Article 7?
I do.
Go ahead.
I have concerns that Article 7 gives an awful lot of power to one person who doesn't even live in our town.
Any further discussion or comments?
Yes, Mr. Moderator?
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is in keeping with typical responsibilities of a town administrator, and the town administrator doesn't act without the support and the vote of the select board. We do an annual evaluation. We get bi-monthly updates on all projects. There is significant oversight. So this is just completing the job description, because I don't know who would remember, but when we created the job, we just accepted the Massachusetts law that allowed us to have a town administrator. We never put forward the full bylaw. So this is just creating the usual job description that other towns already have.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments on Article 7? All in favor?
Aye.
Those against? So the Article 7 passes. Article 8 was submitted by the Community Preservation Committee. What is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Favorable.
Could I have a motion, please, for Article 8?
That the town amend Chapter 111, Article 5, Community Preservation Committee of the Town of Groveland General Bylaw as printed in Article 8 of the warrant. And by way of explanation, maybe the CPC could do a better job, but my understanding in the simplest way is that this is just making sure that the people that are on the committee, that we actually have the committees, because we don't have open trails and things like that. Some of our committees we've stopped having, so we had to revise the membership of the CPC to reflect what we actually have.
Comment. Go ahead, Adam. Or question.
So last year at town meeting, we amended to 2 public members in lieu of boards that didn't exist. However, we only addressed the primary terms for those members, and we did not address subsequent terms, which is what this this article takes care of, is the subsequent terms of the public members.
Based on those clarifications, I didn't ask for a second. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Those against? So Article 8 passes. Article 9 was submitted by the town clerk. What is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Favorable.
Could I have a motion, please?
We move that the town amend Chapter 212, Animal and Fowl, Section 212-3, licensing of dogs and kennels of the Town of Groveland General Bylaw, as printed in Article 9 of the warrant.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or comments?
I could
Go
say,
ahead.
by way of summary, if you read this, just brings us into compliance with Ollie's Law.
Any further questions or comments? Okay.
Hi, Jill Peabody, 38 Center Street.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Jill Peabody, 38
you.
Center Street. So, Ollie's Law, I think that's great. But what I don't like is 4, and I'd like some additional, F, I apologize, some additional clarification, please. When they talk about inspections of kennels required, I need some additional clarification when it says, and any conditions imposed by the town clerk. What conditions might that be? Like, it doesn't need to be painted blue.
Who can answer that question?
It's too broad of a description. It's unacceptable.
Your comment is noted. Can anyone answer that question? Okay, if you could just come up to the microphone, and we're going to need your name, and we know what you do for a living.
Heather Riley, Groveland
Thank
PD. I do the kennel inspections and have previously, and it's a state form that gets filled out according to the state. Certain questions are asked, making sure that the dogs have adequate water, bedding, food, that type of stuff. Once those questions are filled out and signed by the owner of the kennel, it gets sent into the state.
Are you the animal control officer?
Temporarily, we don't have,
Don't have one, okay. But you act in that capacity.
yeah.
Did you have any comments or further clarification on that point?
Yes, please. So, so to confirm, if the town, what do they say? The town clerk decides she or he wants specific kind of food, are they allowed, or do they have to follow those guidelines that you just, like, within those parameters that you just said, as per the state?
It's a state form.
It's a state form.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any further questions or comments, clarifying questions on Article 9? All in favor?
Aye.
Those against? So the measure passes, Article 9 passes. Article 10. Article 10 was submitted by the Select Board. What is the recommendation of the Select Board? With clarification would be helpful.
Favorable?
Any comments or questions?
Got the motion? Yeah? Okay, I'll move that the town amend the Town of Groveland general bylaw by adding to Part 2.
I have a comment, please.
I didn't make the motion yet.
She has to read the motion first.
Go ahead and read it then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That the town amend the Town of Groveland general bylaw by adding to Part 2 a new Chapter 213 entitled Right to Farm as printed in Article 10 of the warrant.
Thank you for the motion. Do I have a second? Your comment, sir, or statement?
TJ Fennell, 3 Billis Way. I'm focused on number 5 of this motion, resolution of disputes. In section B, it says persons engaged in agricultural activities are expected to do so in a manner that is mindful of and considerate toward neighboring properties in the broader community. That's pretty vague. Just looking for some comment on what exactly that means, and maybe you have an example of what might be considered.
So you've asked the question through me. Can anybody answer that question?
It's meant so people will attempt to work things out themselves by being good neighbors. And that's the overall goal. Of course, not everybody's going to see eye to eye or come across as, or come up with a good compromise. From there, it would be elevated to the select board. It'd be brought to the select board and both parties will be invited in, and hopefully between the select board and the two parties, they can mediate a compromise.
So going back then, under 5 again, you're suggesting that it would go back to A, the parties would come in and the select board would mediate, and would you guys vote on the decision that would be made or the action that would be taken? How do you enforce this?
Yes, they would vote in terms of the decision. Enforcement would be something that would be done by our enforcement officer, which would be Sam.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, please.
Hi, my name's Jill Peabody, 38 Center Street. I'd like to share a story in regards to this.
Is it timely?
Yes, sir, it is. So we lived, for 2 years, we tried to be good neighbors, and we were very good neighbors, and they had roosters. We did not say anything, but for 2 years, we had to have our windows closed. At 3 a.m., this rooster would start crowing, and we live in an area where there's, what would offset, or not offset, I'm sorry, but upset a rooster, protecting its flock, coyotes, turkeys, fisher cats, people walking the dogs. We had tons of that. So for 2 years, we didn't say anything. We were good neighbors, and we allowed these people enjoyment of their land. But we weren't afforded the same. And we did speak up, And, it was eventually resolved. But now we have other neighbors and on both sides. And I'd like to add that we live in the end of Center Street, so it's pretty rural down there. And it's not even the condensed versions that we're talking about, like, the smaller lots. So we're hearing additional roosters on both sides of our property. And it's a cacophony of, and we don't have it now, actually, currently, right now, there's no rooster. But last summer and the summer before, there was this cacophony of roostering. I'm nervous and I'm upset, so I apologize again. But it's not, I appreciate expecting people to be respectful, but they're not. And we've gone to those other neighbors, and it's like, well, so sad, too bad. And we've gone to the, we've called the town looking for help. And essentially, it was like, well, you know what? Groveland doesn't have a noise variance. And again, it was so sad, too bad. We're a farming community. We are far from a farming community anymore. So that is just ridiculous. And, I can appreciate, wanting to be a farming community, but we are not. So that's one thing I'd like to say. The second thing I'd like to say is, in this article, they talk about hobby farms, okay? Hobby farms. A hobby farm may include the raising of a limited number of livestock or poultry. I would like that defined, please. Limited number. We need a number. What does that mean? Secondly, right to farm, number 3, where it says, farming activities may occur on holidays, weekends, or weekends and nights, blah, blah, blah. The attendant of incidental noise. I'd like incidental noise defined, because 3 a.m. for 2 years, I don't know. If you want a hobby farm, maybe that's incidental to you. But it's quite alarming and disturbing to me as a neighbor. And then for resolution of disputes, I believe another resident had already commented on this as well. But I would like to add that we need more meat in here, because again, when I said me and my husband, when we came to the town, there was no resolution. It was just like, well, too bad. We don't have a noise variance. And so now, I'd like more additional clarification, and maybe I need to make a motion and, write something up. I'm happy to do that. But, and then what? Now it sounds like there's something planned, and I like that. I like the discussion, but it must be a discussion between all parties, and not just, so sad, so too bad, them are the rules. That doesn't work. We are no longer a civilized society, and it needs to be legislated.
Thank you. So we've heard from 2 folks. We've gotten comments. We've also asked for some clarification on some issues. On any of those, would anybody like to clarify any of the issues that were brought up? Go ahead, please.
Yes, that's the one thing that the bylaw was attempting to do, was to have a dispute resolution manner, and that's to bring it to the select board. It wasn't available and is not available at this current time unless this bylaw passes. In terms of limits, my intent was no limits. I know that we're no longer a farming community, that Groveland has been changing. And again, my intent of putting this bylaw forward is to grasp a hold of what we can keep in terms of being a rural farming community and hold on to that, because day by day, all of our open spaces are always being subject to being built on and developed, and the more people that live here, the less open space and home roots of Groveland that we have left. And that's why I was pushing for this.
Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Jackie Travers. I live at 68 Center Street. I have a hobby farm, actually, with horses and chickens and dogs. And I just kind of wanted to clarify with a comment that, like, Groveland not being a farming community, specifically in that area of Center Street, there are multiple farms with horses specifically. There's a whole grouping of us, and that part of Groveland has continued to be a farming community. I don't have any roosters, but I do see the roosters around our housing, and we have not had an issue with them. We have not had them crowing in the middle of the night, and if we were, I feel like that's a separate issue than having the right to have the animals on your property, and I'd really prefer not to see more laws and more conditions going around it. Like you said, open spaces are being sold constantly. I have 14 acres, and we have that acreage because we have the right to farm. If we didn't, maybe we would sell it to developers, and there'd be more condos and more apartments in Groveland. So I want to see the ability to farm stay in Groveland, and for the ability to do with your land what you'd like to do to stay in Groveland. Thank you.
Thank you. Your name, sir?
Eric Christensen, 217 Center Street, excuse me. Owner of a Harvey farm. We actually don't have any roosters, and I'm happy with that, but one of the reasons why my family chose to set down our roots in Groveland was the absence of overly restrictive bylaws. Grew up in Ipswich, and they have a downtown chicken exclusion zone in their zoning bylaws. I'm very happy we are not looking to implement anything like that, and I applaud the efforts of the select board to support the rights of people like me. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moderator, John Gray, 1 Nichols Way. I was wondering, will an amendment be in order right now to amend this?
If you want to make an amendment, it would have to be in writing. We go through that process.
Yeah, I got it writing right here.
Okay. Did you put it on the form, sir? We have to.
I didn't put it on the form, Joe.
Did you put it on the form?
Let me read it real quick. It's only 5 words.
Go ahead.
Under
please.
purpose and intent, number 1, where it says Groveland has a rich agricultural heritage, and I want to add the words, led by Bagnell student farmers, that continues in the current operation of its farms. And the purpose of this amendment is this. There was 2 teachers. They started in 1988 together. One was a veteran and one was a rookie. And a daughter-in-law and a mother-in-law. They taught for a year at Bagnell School. And they came up with an idea to basically allow, they each had gardens, and they said, we gotta do more than just have gardens. We wanna have animals, poultry, chickens. And what they did was they went down to Essex, Mass, and got Hardy's Hatchery to give them chick eggs. Then they went to Danvers to Essex Agricultural and got an incubator. And they brought it to Bagnell School. And the kids, the students went absolutely wild. When those chicks were hatched, it was like Joy to the World by Three Dog Night. They were so excited as the kids, there's no learning that could take the place of that. And I think those 2 teachers to be commended. One is Maria Gray, Papuano Gray, and the other was Marsha Twombly Gray, her mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. And basically, those 5 words, I think, would add something that we'd always have a town with a student for a priority. And it says Groveland has a rich agricultural heritage led by Bagnell student farmers. I think that would be good.
Let me take a look at that, please.
We'd be okay with the friendly amendment.
Okay.
It's a nice remembrance.
All right, that's a friendly amendment. It's accepted. Thank you. Do you have anything new to add? Something you
sir,
haven't
I do.
talked about?
I'd like to make a friendly amendment, please, that I would like to add the no roosters to the poultry. That's it.
The article was submitted by the Select Board. A friendly amendment would have to be accepted by the Select Board.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
not forthcoming, I think.
Yes, we're not putting any numbers or limits at this point. It's our first, introduction to this bylaw to support the right to farm. So we do have a resolution process now for a dispute that can't be resolved between neighbors, but we'd prefer to wait and see how this works out.
Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Hi, Emily McCarthy, 7 Star Road. I just want to say my neighbor for a long time had a very loud truck, and it would go off at 3:30 a.m. every morning, and never once did I have a complaint. It just became part of life living there. And we can't put bylaws on that or amendments on that. So why are we trying to do it with roosters? Roosters are us supporting our family in healthy ways. Homesteading is a way of using nature and going back to our roots. Why are we trying to put holds on that? I don't know.
Okay, so any further questions or comments? If not, I'm going to move the question. So what we need to vote on now is the motion as amended. Friendly amendment accepted. All in favor? Aye. All against? Well, I guess it passes. The next article is number 11. It was submitted by the Select Board. What is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Recommend favorable action.
Okay, let me just explain Article 11 and how it interplays with 12 before we get started. Article 11 basically is asking us to repeal a law prohibiting marijuana establishments. Should that pass, then we can have a healthy discussion about, well, then what will happen with Article 12. Should it fail, then we don't have anything to discuss with Article 12 because we can't implement anything by what is proposed in 12 if we say no to Article 11. So, could I have a motion on Article 11, please?
I'll make the motion that the town repeal Chapter 281 marijuana establishments of the Town of Groveland General Bylaw.
Do I have a second? Any discussion or comment, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Article 11 passes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies. All against? The article passes.
So now I don't have to worry about that.
I'll do my best. Thank you. All right. Now, let's take a look at the zoning bylaw segment of the articles. Article 12. Could I have a motion, please?
Yes, this is for Article 12, correct?
Yes, and I'll ask for recommendations.
Okay.
In a minute. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so the motion is that the town amend the Groveland zoning bylaw, Article 7, Section 6, marijuana establishments prohibited, amend Table 50-4.5 to add marijuana retailer and marijuana establishment, and amend Article 7, Section 5, reserved as set forth in Article 12 of the warrant, except in Section 50-4.5, Table of Uses, the title marijuana establishment should read non-retail marijuana establishment, and the use recreation marijuana establishment shall be eliminated from the use table under prohibited uses. It's very complicated.
All right. First of all, any questions or comments?
Well, we have a second on it?
Second.
Okay.
Second, go ahead.
And I believe the
First of all, let me just ask one thing here.
What?
What is the recommendation of the Select Board, please?
We're recommending favorable action, and if you look at that chart, there's a limited area where these establishments would be permitted.
Would you tell us what the recommendation of the Finance Board is?
The planning board.
It's a planning board.
Planning board, that's our
We'd like to recommend, but we don't have the ability. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there a member of the Planning Board that would like to add some clarity to a very complex article? And you can turn the...
I am just going to
Go
say,
ahead.
DJ McNulty, Valley Farm Road, Planning Board recommends favorable action.
Okay.
If there's any questions or comments, or if we need it, I'm more than happy to answer those questions. This was put forth we all know that these marijuana establishments have been established 12 years ago. I think we voted on it. To vote it down, now we are trying to reintroduce and bring additional revenue to the town, and this is that bylaw that allows it. There has been nobody, that, under my understanding, that has come forth and asked for this to happen. We don't know of any establishments that are willing to come in, but if they were to come in tomorrow, we do not have the current bylaws to do so. So this is just the new bylaw to be able to enforce that and have the language around it how we seem fit as a town.
Thank you very much. So DJ will be my subject matter specialist if there's any questions that are beyond the scope of my ability.
Hi, Steve Hammer, 127 Main Street. Just as a point of clarification, if we don't pass this, do we then just get the default state rules? Given that Article 11 passed, and this is our opportunity to control what happens, or it effectively nullifies Article 11? Thank you.
I don't know.
So I would have to say that I would have assumed that we could just go back, revisit Article 11 and establish that back into play, and we would be covered again. I would assume that, and we could ask the town council if that would be a confirmation, but I would assume that we could just revert back to 11 and allow that to go if need be.
If somebody would have to make a motion to.
Correct,
reconsider.
exactly.
Okay, just wanted to be clear on that. Any further questions or comments?
Just for clarification, I'm not trying to backdoor 11. I'm in support, but just for people who weren't in favor of 11, the idea that if we don't pass 12, then we lose some local control is my question, or are we not allowed to then license the establishments?
Again, I would have to probably default council, but if we do not have any language in the bylaw, we'd have to default to the state, what state law bylaw would be.
So let me ask for that clarification of town council.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. So you do have a provision in your current zoning bylaw. It's under section 50-4.1, which is entitled Permitted Uses. It says, no land shall be used and no building or structure shall be erected or occupied other than in conformance with the provisions of this bylaw. Any use of land, building, or structures not expressly permitted is hereby prohibited. So my advice would be, or my opinion would be, that notwithstanding the fact that you've repealed your general bylaw in the preceding Article 11, that if you take no action on Article 12 to establish a framework and dictate where these uses are permissible, I would not say that somehow the town would default to the state telling you you've got to put these everywhere, anywhere, because you'll still have a bylaw that doesn't expressly allow them in any particular location. The benefit, of course, in adopting something like Article 12, having just repealed in Article 11 the town-wide prohibition, is you're now establishing both a process and a procedure for the issuance of special permits. You're being very clear about where these facilities can and cannot be located, and you're also providing criteria upon which the special permit granting authority will base its decision about where to allow them and where to disallow them.
Thank you very much. Any further questions or comments?
I have.
Teresa Safford, 9 Pinewood Lane. I just want to know, it's with regard to the marijuana retailers, I'm assuming that there has to be licensing for each one of them. Is there a maximum number that Groveland gets? Is that based by state, or that they make the decisions? I just moved here about 5 years ago, coming from the city of Salem, and that was a whole thing, trying to get all those licenses.
Dennis, do you know if there's a limit?
So there's unlimited number of licenses. Okay.
But I do believe the state does limit the licenses similar to the way that they do for the alcohol licenses. And in fact, I believe recently the governor has put in to increase those limits.
Greg, you have an amendment?
Yes.
Propose?
Yes, I have a motion to amend.
Go ahead.
Propose. It's on applicability, section B on page 16.
Okay, let me hold that thought for just a moment. If you have the article in front of you, take a look at B, applicability. You'll see 5 numbers there with sentences that describe certain things. So Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, but your amendment is just to add a 6th one.
I would like to add a number 6 underneath it.
Number 6, yes, you can. You can just, so what is the change that you want to make? We have 5. You don't want to change those, but you want to add a 6th one. Explain what that is, please.
I'd like to add this, number 6, all approved facilities must use town water, no private wells permitted. The reason for this is the areas that are being proposed for this mostly are fairly easy for groundwater to be accessed. Plants don't require potable water to drink them. However, they will use a lot of water. Last year, we passed article to build a water treatment plant. Obviously, the more water we sell, the lower the rate increases will be across the board. I don't want to allow something like this to come in here and just tap an easy well to water plants. I want them to be a part of the town and kind of mitigate the denominator part of our basically cost of goods sold of 0, which is groundwater. That's all.
Okay. I have a second on that. Any discussion, further discussion? All right, all in favor of the amended motion? And then I'll go back to the original motion.
Aye.
All against? You thought I was going to forget, huh?
Okay.
Okay, so the amended motion passes. Now we're going to go back to the original motion. All 5 provisions that are listed in applicability, section B, will stay as is, and we're adding all approved facilities must use town water, no private wells permitted. Is that understood?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? All right, so the amended motion passes. Thank you all. Very good. Well done. We're getting good at this with these amendments. Article 13 requires a 2/3 vote. It was submitted by the building inspector, Sam Jocelyn. What is the recommendation of the select board, please?
Favorable.
What is the recommendation of the finance board, please?
Once again, we don't recommend on this article. The planning board will make a recommendation if I believe so.
Thank you. Go ahead. What is the recommendation of the planning board?
Favorable.
Favorable. By the way, Dennis is the chair of the planning board.
I make a motion that the town amend the Groveland zoning bylaw, Article 2, Section 1, terms defined to include a definition for service establishment personnel, and to amend Table 50-4.5 to add service establishment personnel as printed in Article 13 of the warrant.
Do I have a second on the motion? as read?
Second.
And Mr. Moderator, just a quick summary. What
Yes, please.
this takes
Thank you.
care of is hair salons. Evidently, they weren't included in our table, so they've been grandfathered. We have them, but this would allow them.
Any questions? Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Article 13 passes. Thank you. Article 14 was submitted by the executive coordinator. It requires a 2/3 vote. What is the recommendation of the finance board, please? Go ahead. I have finance board here, that's the problem.
Planning board recommends favorable.
Thank you. What is the recommendation of the select board?
Favorable.
Can I have a motion, please?
The motion that the town approve an amendment to the Groveland zoning bylaw to add the footnote 10 to planned unit development within Table 50-4.5 as printed in Article 14 of the warrant.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
What is the...
Your name, please?
Kathy Melzakos,
Thank
10
you.
Baldwin Terrace.
Thank
What
you.
is the executive coordinator? I've never heard that title.
Annie, you're on the hot seat.
Hi, I'm Annie. I'm your executive coordinator. I do a bunch of things for the town. I've been working in town for 5 years. I started as your conservation agent and town planner, and my role grew when you guys approved a town administrator. I kind of became her right hand, so I assist her in her tasks. I also do all sorts of things. I help issue field use permits for, the Groveland Youth Baseball, things like that. I help process liquor licenses and all sorts of things. If you call the town hall, I'm the person you get. If you have any questions about my job, just let me know.
Thank you, Annie. Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion? Aye. Those against? Two-thirds required. The motion passes. The article passes. Thank you. Article 15. The article is submitted by the town planner, Jonathan Sullivan. We might put you on the hot seat, too. What is the recommendation of the planning board?
Favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the select board?
Favorable.
Okay, could I have a motion, please?
Yes, I make a motion that the town amend the Groveland zoning bylaw, Article 2, Section 1, terms defined, to revise the definition of common driveway as set forth in the warrant and amend Article 10, Section 4 by omitting the existing bylaw in its entirety and replacing it as set forth in Article 15 of the warrant.
Second.
Second, okay. Any discussion? Any questions?
Yes, hi, Emily McCarthy, 7 Star Road. At first glance, this proposal sounds reasonable. It talks about shared driveways, reduced land disturbances, and flexibility in regards to development. But when you look more closely, this article does something much more significant. It quietly changes how development can happen in our town. Right now, our zoning relies on clear frontage requirements to control how many homes can be built on a given stretch of land. Article 15 now opens the door to reduce those requirements by reducing the number of increased frontage from the dwellings from 2 permitted dwellings to 3 permitted dwellings, allowing up to 3 homes to be served by a single shared driveway. May not sound like a big shift, but in practice, it increases density in areas that were never designed for it. This article may be well-intended, but it introduces more intensity of development, more reliance on shared infrastructure, and more long-term uncertainty for neighborhoods. For those reasons, I believe we should proceed cautiously and not adopt this change as written, and I urge you to vote no.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Hi, Denise King Street. I completely agree with her. It has happened. Katie Lane, which is built off of King Street and the old Adamopoulos' property, this happened. When that was going in, many of the neighbors all opposed to it. They opposed to the extension of a safe length of road, which was studied for many months. We were told by the planning board that, oh, well, we're going to review that, and we're going to do research into it, and we're going to eventually change that. 3 years down the road, the length has never been changed. We check occasionally with the planning board. No research has been done into that. They extended the road to beyond what was considered safe in this town and researched. They put a circle at the end. They have shared driveways. They have less frontage. Nothing has been followed through that was said to be done. I completely oppose this. And unless the planning board's going to follow through with what they said, they have never researched anything that they said they were going to do. And I oppose this completely.
Thank you. Any comments or questions, please? Dennis?
Sure, I'd love to comment. So, Planning Board Chair, I have not had any conversation really with you. I am fairly new to the board, so I was not involved when the subdivision of King Street was there. I know nothing about any type of issues that was happening before. Obviously, once it's voted upon, it's a done deal and things can happen. But if there's anything that any subdivision, anyone has, we've had residents in front of us regularly to say, I oppose, whatever the case may be. But at this instance here, I have not heard anything that was about King Street not being in compliance or anything like that. But they're not a shared driveway, they're a subdivision, which is more than 3 homes. This pertains to just a common drive for up to 3 houses. It still falls under subdivision rules and regulations. It has to be a special permit, has to be allowed. It still will be in front of all of us, zoning as well as the planning board to approve that. But
Well, they do have shared driveways down on Katie Lane.
is there 2 houses maybe? Is there 2? I'm not sure. I haven't been down there to look and see.
They do have shared.
They have a shared.
It's about 100 feet longer than it was supposed to be.
Okay. But again, didn't know anything about that. But currently, that's what this bylaw is, the shared with 3 And again, it has to be by special permit only. It's not by right. You know, we had our attached dwelling units, things like that. So this is, and there isn't anything that just, they have automatic say to common driveway, 3 homes, and so they would still have to follow all of our bylaws. So, but I understand.
Any further clarification needed, or question or comment? Yes, please.
I have a question. Bob Valentine, 12 Merritt Ave. This common driveway, I have a concern regarding the length, and is it going to meet under NFPA standards in emergency access road, so it's wide enough for emergency vehicles? My concern being fire trucks to go up, turn around, and come back down these driveways.
What is your position in the town, sir?
Fire chief.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments? Go ahead, Kathy.
Kathy Meltzakos, 10 Baldwin Terrace. I've got a sort of written out thing about a possible amendment on C, applicability. Sorry, I'm tired. Delete at least, add only, and then delete the and no more than 3.
You're going to have to put that on the amendment form, and I certainly will accept it. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, 15, yes.
Oh, it says right here, to determine adequate emergency.
Change it to make and see.
So, does this address the fire chief's thing?
Serve
Okay, so didn't he read this?
No.
2 residential
Why didn't he read it?
instead of
Okay, so then we'll just talk to him.
lots and.
What are we caucusing about right now?
Gotta write it down on the.
Well, what, I don't even know what she's doing.
I know it's.
I don't know.
Are we getting rid of the, are we
I
getting?
know,
rid of
but
and no
the
more
problem
than
is,
three?
yes.
You're getting.
Start mucking around with this, you end up with a mess. Yeah, I'm gonna tell him, yeah.
The language is in.
Yeah, I'll tell him. I'll address the fire chief.
Wasn't
Yeah, it's all here. I'll address the fire chief. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, I do need to.
Mr. Moderator.
Just stand off to the side for just a minute. I just want to make sure that I have both. Okay. All right, folks, I have an amendment, and let me read it to you. It's quite simple and short. Your attention, please. I appreciate it. So if we take a look at page 25, C, on the common driveways, 10.4. The way it reads now, it says a common driveway must serve at least 2 residential lots and no more than 3. So at least is going to be replaced by the word only. That's what Kathy did. A common driveway must serve only 2 residential lots. Now, the rest of that sentence is going to be scratched out. A common driveway must serve at least 2 residential lots will be replaced with only residential lots, and it ends there. The words, and no more than 3 will be struck out. That's what is on this form, and I'll read it again. A common driveway must serve only 2 residential lots,
No, but what
period.
does it do now?
Is that understood? Any questions or comments? Thank you, Kathy.
Good,
I have a question. Erin Dolan, 137A King Street. We have on King Street multiple common driveways that already have 3 houses. They each have the road frontage, either on Center Street or on, their properties meet the minimum requirements, but there's 3 houses next to me that share 1 driveway. So if we change that wording to 2 only, what do you do with the existing 3s?
Mr. Moderator?
All grandfathered in?
That is a very technical question, and maybe we might get some help with that.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes.
The fire chief asked a question, and it is answered in the article, if you'd read further on the emergency access by fire trucks and other emergency vehicles, that it is covered, that they would have to have the space to be able to turn around in it. My understanding is this whole article, whether you vote for it or against it, the overall goal here is to not have as many new roads built, accessing roads, to keep a more rural look when possible if somebody is subdividing or selling off a piece of land. But, if folks don't want that and you want to just wait and not have a bylaw that allows for a more rural look, we could stay where we are. I mean, this has a lot of bells and whistles in it about emergency access, utilities, ownership, maintenance, restrictions. It's been very carefully put together. But again, it is your choice. If you don't like it, you don't want it, we'll stay the way we are and you'll get more streets built.
DJ, hold that thought. Chief, did you have any further question on that clarification from Kathy? Thank you very much. Now, we're going to get clarification for Kathy from DJ.
Yeah, it would you would be grandfathered in for anything that pre-existing would be grandfathered in.
Okay, thank you. Kathy, squared with that? Yes, sir.
I'm Stephen Collins, 350 Center Street, Groveland. And I just got a question now. The 3 lots, would they be able to build with less than 150 feet of frontage that's now required because of this new bylaw?
Special permit. They need to come in and request for this special permit in order, and we'd have go over the criteria of the special permit in order to accept that.
Okay.
Any further question or comments?
I have a comment.
Go ahead, please.
The biggest thing in terms of...
Microphone a little bit closer so we can hear you, please.
The
Thank you.
biggest reason why that it requires reduced frontage is so they wouldn't be required to build the road to that point because the driveway is not the frontage. But if they built the road, they would have the frontage.
So it would allow more building in a dense area, basically, because they wouldn't need the road frontage, correct? Am I saying that right? So now you can put more homes on a smaller piece of property?
No, because if you build a road, you'd be able to put that home there because you'd have the frontage.
Okay. But what if they can't build a road, but they can do the common driveway? Now they can build 3 houses in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any comments or questions?
So, Steve, you only need 50 feet of frontage to build a road.
Any comments or questions? Now,
Mr. Moderator.
Yes.
Just a point of clarification.
Go ahead, please.
The current definition in the current bylaw does not set a limit, right? So a shared driveway could have as many as you allow with the special permit, correct?
Say that again.
Special permit for a shared driveway today does not define 2, 3, 5, 10, however many you approved would be allowed by the bylaw, correct?
Correct.
And so what this bylaw actually does is set a limit that doesn't currently exist.
Up to the 3.
Yep.
Anything over 3 would be subdivision regulations, and they would have to have a public roadway.
Any further questions or comments? Clarification from anybody or questions? So we have an amended motion. It requires only a simple majority, whereas the original motion requires a 2/3. So I'm going to ask for a vote on the amended motion.
Mr. Moderator, can I just make a note? The amended motion does not capture the change at the beginning.
I'm sorry, what
paragraph.
was that?
So the amended motion that wants to change the applicability, it does not capture the first paragraph where we're saying 2 or 3 residential lots. So she wants to change down here, but then there's no amendment to change up here, which says 2 or 3. If that's what she would like.
And also, Mr. Moderator, I was also attending to the emergency services. I did not hear the full amendment that is on the floor to know exactly what that was. Apologies.
So Melissa brought up a good point. Let me just share this with town council, folks. Hang in there. Yeah, so,
There's multiple circumstances where there's inconsistencies there, where there's multiple instances that references three lots. So she's changing it there, but she's not changing it elsewhere. But that's her choice to change it. But the body can know that it creates inconsistencies.
unless she changes it everywhere. All right, so when you take a look at the article, the common driveway, if you can explain it, Melissa, because it's just easier, because there's inconsistencies. Because if you eliminate language in one section, you have to eliminate it in other areas.
Correct. So throughout the current article, as it is written in the warrant, it references 2 or 3 lots, Lot 2, Lot 3. So the amended motion at the current time is only speaking about one paragraph. So then the article itself would be inconsistent with itself. So if the person who proposes the amendment wants to make that change, the amendment should be
So Kathy, you would
corrected
either,
throughout.
a couple of choices. You can either withdraw the amendment, or you have to change it everywhere that you see it.
I see it right here. I don't know where else it is.
Why don't you work with Melissa, she'll print it out to you.
Is it possible to just say wherever that language?
No.
Really?
So you have to go specific.
Yeah, because how are you adjusting it? It's not, you may not be eliminating it, changing the language. You got to be specific about what you're eliminating.
So I appreciate your patience with this process. This is a new rule that we began to get used to last year, and I don't want it to be a deterrent, but there is a process, and help us through it, and be patient, and we'll get through it. Thank you, Kathy, for your patience. You got to use your Catholic schoolgirl handwriting so I can read the darn thing.
I think you've got.
Yes, you can. Yeah, just like reference. It doesn't have to be in order, exactly. Go ahead, yeah. What happens when you deal with a school teacher? Awesome.
Next year, we'll be back here changing all of the mistakes, right, and the common drive, that's all. I don't know, but there's tables and there's articles. Only deleting zoning.
Okay, stay right there.
I know, it's just.
You need to correct it.
Where are you deleting?
No, but I think it's unfair to the quorum in this town, to having people.
Private driveway, okay, on page 25.
Really? Yeah? Hope he has a check for us.
Right.
Oh, Chuck was just, that Chuck's,
Right, but
he's a good tennis player. Oh, he plays tennis. I know. Let him talk. All my tennis friends do. Every time.
All right, just one point. Senator Todd, thank you for joining us. You never miss an opportunity to watch over us and promote our good life here, so thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chuck Fuller, 368 Center Street. Point of clarity. We've spent all this time for this one change on this amendment, so we have to vote on this change, and if we don't approve her change, then we're back to the original article. Is that correct?
That's about right. That's why this is a simple, and the other one is 2/3. So the motion, the amendment to the motion is this. If you want to look at this, you want to follow the bouncing ball, take a look at page 25. If you take a look at the top, at page 25, in the upper left hand, beneath the big words, common driveway, you see that? A private driveway in big bold letters that provides shared vehicular access from a public street, road, or way to 2 or 3 residential lots. So Kathy, what is the change that you're doing there? You're going to delete that.
Joe, just read it.
No, she wants 2. She wants it to say 2 and strike or 3.
On page 25, we're going to delete the words 2 or 3 residential lots.
Just or 3. The only word you're deleting
2 or 3, I'm sorry, or 3, my apologies. That's what Kathy put in there. A private driveway that provides shared vehicular access from a public street, road, or way, or 2, each of which has the minimum required area and frontage on a public street, road, or way as required by this bylaw. A common driveway shall be held in common ownership and/or subject to recorded easements granting perpetual rights to access, use, and maintenance to all lots served. A common driveway may be located within one or more of the lots served or within a recorded access easement. We're going to make the change as amended on this form. In section C, a common driveway must serve only 2 residential lots, period. We end there. And then we're going to delete and 3, the words and 3 in section G. Section G should be on the next page. What is it?
Under number
G12. G12, thank you. All right, that was easy. So now we need to have a vote on the amendment. Do I have a second? Make sure we have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the amended motion? Aye. All against? No. We have the highest paid volunteers in Groveland. And with this new rule, there's a reason why I carry a rosary in my left pocket and I have the attorney to my right. All in favor, please raise your hand.
That's my point. You can only allow 3, you just don't bother. Not in the amendment, but depending on what happens. It won't. Correct.
Okay, just waiting.
Right.
Okay, please raise your hand if you're against the article, the motion as amended. Okay, let's see what we got.
Aaron's going numb. I've lost feeling. Blood. It's going to affect. Priorities.
So to change the motion, 48 for and 39 against. So the amended motion changes. That required a simple majority. Now we're going to go back to the original motion. And if I don't have to read it out again, we're going to need a 2/3 majority.
No, the amendment passed.
The amended passed. The
Now
amended
we're
passed.
voting the whole thing.
Yep. Now we have to vote as amended.
Okay.
Laurie, you okay? Okay. Anybody else? All right. I get it, and everybody gets it. All in favor of the amended motion? All against?
No.
Okay, the amended motion, Article 15 passes. Thank you very much. All right, Article 16. This was submitted by the building inspector. It requires a 2/3 vote. What is the recommendation of the planning board, please?
Favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the select board?
Favorable.
Could I have a motion,
Yes,
please?
move that the town amend the Groveland zoning bylaw, Article 2, Section 1, terms defined to include the following definitions. Amend Table 50-4.5 to add dwelling 3 to 4 units mixed use, parentheses 3, parentheses 10, I have no idea. And amend Table 50-4.5 to add footnotes 3 and 10 as set forth in the Article 16 of the warrant.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. Moderator, by way of summary, there is a summary that says this article would allow the existing non-conforming buildings to be brought into compliance and support more financially viable business development.
Any further questions or comments on Article 6? Hold on. Article 16. Hold on. Just take a look at this. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Article 16 passes. We're going to move on to community preservation. I will tell you that our subject matter specialist, there are a number of people here on the board, but I might lean a little heavy on Adam, who is the chair of the committees. Might be able to provide clarification if you have questions. So Article 17 was submitted by the Community Preservation Committee, was voted on March 23rd. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the Select Board, please?
Favorable.
Can I have a motion, please?
Yes, we move that the town appropriate a reserve from Community Preservation Fund fiscal year 2027 estimated annual revenues, the amounts recommended by the Community Preservation Committee for committee administration expenses, debt service, community preservation projects, and other expenses as set forth in Article 17 of the warrant.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any comments or questions? On Article 17, all in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Article 17 passes. Article 18 was submitted by the Community Preservation Committee, voted on March 23rd. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Favorable.
Could I have a motion, please?
Yes. We move that the town appropriate a sum of $32,760 from the Community Preservation General Reserve FY 2026 to purchase CPA acknowledgement signage per the application approved and amended by the Community Preservation Committee. This project is to be managed by the Community Preservation Committee and overseen by the town administrator under the CPA category of recreation.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Yes.
Through the moderator.
ahead.
Greg LeBrack, Baldwin Terrace.
Yes.
I'm not usually a big fan of saying no to things, but this one here is kind of odd to me. You're asking us, if you look at the following articles coming after this, to spend a great deal of money out of CPA, a lot of which would drain the accounts that they're there, and to spend $32,760 to put a sign in front of a project to say, built with your own money. I've seen these in Salem and places. They're just big, red, ugly signs that says, this project was paid for by CPA funds. And I don't get the point of them. I certainly don't like the idea of marketing our own things to it. And the state is not participating in this in the way that they originally promised. It's not dollar for dollar anymore. Our reimbursement this year was only 35%, and it's been going down year by year by year. So basically what you're asking us to do is to drain the account for what could be worthwhile projects later on to put a sign up to say, we built this with your own money.
Any further comments or questions? Michael?
Mike Dempsey, 33 Uptack Road. So the purpose of this article is to make up for the fact that the approximately 60 or 70 successful projects that we have passed at town meeting over the last 16 years, many of those people don't know that they were paid for by CPA funds, our own CPA funds, and match from the state. And it kind of aggrieves anybody when we think about it, about that we went to extensive requirements to look at these projects, examine them, and then we voted on them here, and then we don't even know that they exist or why they exist or how they exist. So these signs are now required by all CPA projects going forward, but this article will correct the lack of signage on projects that were passed before. So I recommend that we vote yes on this one.
Any further questions or comments? Go ahead, Greg.
I'm sorry, Mike, real quick. You just said this is a requirement? The state has made we have to put these signs up.
Mike, would you answer that question?
No, I didn't say that, Greg. I meant, what I said was, it's a requirement in Groveland for projects going forward. The CPC has in their request for proposal that you have to include in your project the money to put up an acknowledgement sign.
Thank you, Mike. Greg, all set? Any further questions or comments on Article 18? All in favor?
Aye.
Those against? No. I think the noes have it.
I think you need a hand count.
Simple majority, the noes have it. Article fails. Article 19.
I don't know about that.
Okay, well, let's get a count. That's fine. No problem. My hearing aids are working pretty good tonight. All in favor, please raise your hand.
We're losing our quorum, that's what's happening. It's taking so long.
All against, raise your hand.
It's always that back row, troublemakers. I know that. We do. We're not cool enough. ones that do all the counting. What was that?
We have 48 noes and 45 yeses.
How many again?
48 no, against,
Yeah.
and 45 in favor.
Rats.
That was a good call. Shh. Motion fails. Simple majority. Article 19, submitted by the Community Preservation Committee. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Favorable?
And do I have a motion?
Yes, we move that the town appropriate a sum of $250,800 from the Community Preservation General Reserve FY 2026 to create a basketball court and play area at Bagnell Elementary School per the application approved and amended by the Community Preservation Committee. The project is to be managed by the Highway Superintendent and overseen by the Town Administrator under the CPA category of recreation.
Second.
Any discussion or comments? All in favor of Article 19?
Aye.
Those against? All right, it passes unanimously.
I'm moving.
Well,
Article 20, submitted by the Community Preservation Committee. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
And what is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Favorable action.
Could I have a motion, please?
We move that the town appropriate a sum of up to $86,500 from the Community Preservation Historic Preservation Reserve FY 2026 to complete the Vito Hand Tub Museum per the application approved and amended by the Community Preservation Committee. The project is to be managed by the Highway Superintendent and overseen by the Town Administrator under the CPA category of Historic Preservation.
Okay, motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or comments? All in favor of Article 20?
Aye.
Those against?
No.
Can I have the ayes again, please?
Aye.
Those against?
No.
I think the ayes have it. Article 20 passes. Article 21, submitted by the Community Preservation Committee. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
and the recommendation of the Select Board?
Select Board recommends favorable action.
Could I have a motion,
I
please?
move that the town appropriate a sum of up to $59,000 from the Community Preservation General Reserve FY 2026 for the Perry Park Phase 2 design per the application approved and amended by the Community Preservation Committee. The project is to be managed by the Highway Superintendent and overseen by the Town Administrator under the CPA category of recreation.
Second.
Second. Any questions, comments? Yes, Greg, go ahead.
I'll try to tie 21 and 22 together. I noticed these are both for design, and I was curious as to what the cost of implementation will be, if there's any estimate on it. My concern being, I know Article 22, how much it costs to put lights up, as we did at Pentucket. If we go through with this, we're probably close to $1.5 to $2 million to light up the Pines with baseball fields and things. I have no idea what they're talking about with Perry Park. But as I spoke to earlier, I was given a copy of the town's trial balance, and I looked at the numbers and stuff, and I'm wondering how we plan to actually pay to do these things after they're designed, and I would certainly like a commitment that the plan is not to bond CPA funds to do this.
Any comments?
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Go ahead, Adam.
So this Perry Park is a Phase 2 project. The original preliminary design, the estimated construction cost was $698,083. This project will finalize those construction drawings and then be able to get it out to bid. And we can address the Pines when we get to that one, if that's all right.
You can repeat the question or related issue when we do the 22, so let's stay focused on 21. Article 21, any further questions or comments, please? Okay, then all in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Article 21 passes. Article 22, submitted by the Community Preservation Committee. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the Select Board, please?
Select Board recommends favorable action.
Kathy, could I have a motion, please?
Yes, move that the town appropriate a sum of up to $137,500 from the Community Preservation General Reserve FY 2026 for the Pines Recreation Area lighting design per the application approved and amended by the Community Preservation Committee. The project is to be managed by the Highway Superintendent and overseen by the Town Administrator under the CPA category of recreation.
I'll second.
Second, okay. Any questions or comments? Article
All right.
22.
So I'll address Greg's question from earlier. When we originally proposed this project, we were looking at it as a whole sum, and that rough estimate came in at about 1.6 million. However, we decided to pull the project back, do just the design, and this will allow us to pick and decide how we're going to phase the project. And, you know, those costs are going to be majorly dependent on when the project happens and how much of it happens.
Greg?
Appreciate it. That's about the number I expected, as I said earlier. But I'm still hoping for some sort of commitment that there's not a plan to bond CPA money.
We entertained it, and we decided not to at this time, but I can't say what's going to happen in the future.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on Article 22? Yes, please.
I'd like to ask.
Your name,
It's
please?
Diane Plantamira, Mill Street. I'd like to ask Adam if the lighting design will follow the Dark Skies recommendations?
They are, as we mocked up the design, they were dark sky lights. We'll obviously ask the engineers to carry that through in the design phase.
Any other questions or comments, please? Okay, Article 22, all in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Article 22 passes. Article 23 was submitted by the Community Preservation Committee. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
And the recommendation of the Select Board?
Recommends favorable action.
Kathy, please, motion.
Move that the town appropriate the sum of up to $297,550 from the Community Preservation Reserve FY 2026 for the replacement of the Shanahan Fields bathrooms and ADA compliance walkway per the application approved by the Community Preservation Committee. The project is to be managed by the Highway Superintendent and overseen by the Town Administrator under the CPA category of recreation.
Second.
Any discussion or comments?
Irene Thomas, Bagnell Terrace. I have a question about this article and the next one, both having to do with the bathrooms. It says that the highway superintendent is the manager, but I'm wondering who's responsible for maintenance as time goes on.
Who can answer that question?
So the maintenance is going to be done in conjunction with the people that use the park, as well as the facilities superintendent in town, who's already managing the bathrooms at the Pines. They'll be handled similar fashion.
Any other questions or comments, please? Okay. Article 23, all in favor?
Aye.
Those against? No. Article 23 passes. Article 24 was submitted by the Community Preservation Committee. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
and the recommendation of the Select Board?
Recommends favorable action.
Can I have a motion, please, Kathy?
Yes, the town moves to appropriate a sum of $281,050 from the Community Preservation General Reserve FY 2026 for the construction of Washington Park bathrooms per the application approved by the Community Preservation Committee. The project is to be managed by the Highway Superintendent and overseen by the Town Administrator under the CPA category of recreation.
Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion or question, please? Kathy?
It's my understanding that, Kathy Malsakos, 10 Baldwin Terrace, it's my understanding there's existing bathrooms at Shanahan, and you need to build bathrooms at Washington. Why is Shanahan going to be more costly? Because between these two articles, it's $578,000, $600. That's a lot of money for a couple of bathrooms that are going to be used 3 months a year or 6 months a year. Well, you're not going to use them in the winter at all.
So we already voted on Article 24.
So, the reason that the Shanahan Field bathrooms are more than the Washington Park bathrooms are because the Shanahan Field bathrooms are already existing. They'll need to be demoed and removed, as well as a septic tank. And the Shanahan Field bathroom has a sewer connection and also an ADA compliant walkway that's part of the project.
Any further questions or comments, please? On Article 24, all in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Article 24 passes. Article 25 was submitted by the Community Preservation Committee.
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
Thank you. Do I have a motion, please?
I make a the Select Board recommends favorable action, and I move the town appropriate a sum of $16,278 from the Community Preservation General Reserve FY 2026 for the Groveland Community Garden Utility Connection per the application approved and amended by the Community Preservation Committee. The project to be managed by the Highway Superintendent and overseen by the Town Administrator under the CPA category of recreation.
A motion.
Second.
Second, okay. Any questions or comments? Okay, on Article 25, all in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Article 25 passes. The last of 10 community preservation issues, Article 26, was submitted by the Community Preservation Committee. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Select Board recommends favorable action and
Okay,
makes a
motion,
motion.
please, yep.
The motion is town appropriate a sum of $109,600 from the Community Preservation General Reserve FY 2026 for the design, development, and construction of the Crosstown Trail per the application approved and amended by the Community Preservation Committee. The project is to be managed by the conservation agent and overseen by the town administrator under the CPA category of recreation.
Second.
Second. Do I have any questions or comments? Yes, please.
Elizabeth Zimmerman, 19 Pandora. Anyone who has any property abutting this proposed trail, just be warned, you will have no privacy. Your backyard will be absolutely destroyed. The trails are not taken care of. There's dog poop all over them. There's trash everywhere. Therefore, it blows into your yard. National Grid does a lovely job of destroying, coming over your easement by at least 10 feet. There's nothing you can do when your land's already destroyed besides spend $8,000 and plant more trees, and hopefully they don't destroy them. Be careful what you wish for. The trails seemed like a great idea. I wasn't here when the town initially voted on them. They're not great. They're not taken care of. There's dog poop everywhere, and you lose a ton of privacy. And if they're gonna go into the town forest, just expect more trash.
Any further comments or questions, please? Yes, sir. Your name?
Bob Balanisi, 51 Wood Street. I just want to know if all the easements are in place for any of these trails, or if they need to be.
Adam?
There's an easement in place on the portion of the trail going through Nichols Village, and the rest of the trail is pending getting those easements. If the easements are not granted, the trail will not move forward.
So why would we vote on a budget if there's no easements?
There is an easement on half of it that's on the Nichols Village property.
But not on the other property?
Correct, and they're going to need the funds to procure the easements.
Sir, hold on, please.
No, that's it. I'm good.
Thank you. Michael.
Mike Dempsey, 33 Uptack Road, Groveland Conservation. So, I mean, I'm not sure what the previous speaker was talking about, National Grid. National Grid has nothing to do with this trail system. And there is one main easement going from Main Street up into Town Forest, which connects into West Newbury, Crane Pond Reservation State, several potential trail systems, and one other easement could potentially provide one trail into Crane Pond, but if that easement isn't granted, there's other ways to get into Crane Pond. So this project really opens up that whole area to anyone who wants to walk, hike, and doesn't even know about the trails that are up there, because it'll be starting at Main Street, and there'll be a kiosk there that maps out the potential routes. It's really a great place up there, and we hope to get more people in there. And as far as the trash and dog stuff there, I mean, I haven't seen it, but certainly we'd be more than happy to have this resident be a volunteer to keep the paths clear. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
Megan Pahalski, 86 Center Street. I'm curious, aesthetically speaking, are we talking a trail like in the town forest or at VZ, a hiking trail, or are we talking like the crosstown path that's near her property where it is paved with fences going down the full length of it, just aesthetically speaking?
Michael, can you answer that question, please?
I think the trails are going to be more like the ones at VZ Park than the paved.
So more a hiking trail and not a biking, paved? Correct.
Correct.
Thank you.
Mike, can you add something new to the discussion so we can move the question?
No, I just agree. It's a paved, it's not a paved, it's just a dirt path.
Kathy, can you add, thank you, Mike. Can you add something new?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
If all of the preservation acts go through, what is the total amount of money left in that account afterwards?
You're going to make me do math.
We're doing a lot of math tonight, so hang in there, Kathy. By the way, just to let you know, it's 9:20. Last year, we finished at 9:35. We're within striking range of doing that. And last year, we grilled Colin Stokes for 45 minutes on the $45 million water treatment facility. So we can get this done tonight. So be patient, and thank you for your attention. And please, I want you to speak up. If you need to make an amendment, I want you to make an amendment. Participate fully. It's once a year. We don't want to come back here and do a special meeting if we leave something out. So thank you for your patience, and hang in there. We'll get home.
While you guys are getting the totals, I'll just go ahead and ask this because it's probably a bit more simple. Emily McCarthy, 7 Star Road. Is this just making it so the trails that are already back there are properly marked? Because I've gone hiking back on near Nichols Village before, and it's lovely back there, but it's not well marked. So trying to navigate it is definitely difficult. So is it adding additional trails, or is it also using some of those funds in order to allocate resources to make sure that the other trails are clearly marked? There are signs randomly in the woods if you walk back there where you can see that there's supposed to be trails. Just curious.
Mike. All day. I'll take this one.
We have a new speaker, folks.
Patrick Molina, 7 Saver, the head of the Recreation Committee. So to answer your question, we have a project going on right now from fiscal year 2025 where we are modernizing the trails. And so we're working on that literally right now. So all 6 trails, people don't know that there are 6 trails. All 6 trails are getting signage, kiosks, dog waste, You know, all that sort of stuff that there are some of these complaints, we're working to make the trails better.
But also, these are some new trails. The trail from Main Street doesn't exist, and then there's some areas through Town Forest that don't exist.
We're almost done with the math. We want to respect everyone's inquiry, so just give us another 30 seconds, we'll get the math.
Could we move the question?
Yes, sir.
Eric Christensen, Center Street. Will there be the addition of like a trailhead and parking for the new trail through Nichols Village, sorry?
Can anybody answer that question, please?
I believe parking is intended to be done at the school
I thought Nichols Village was going to provide some.
and potentially through Nichols Village as
Yeah.
well.
I just want to add that every year, new monies go into the CPA fund, so, you know, this isn't the end and all we have left.
All right, so
Okay, so this is the answer to the question about the amount of money. I believe that was Kathy. Okay, go ahead, please.
All right, so in the general recreation category, there'll be 1.13 million remaining. In the open space category, there'll be $775,000 remaining. In the historic preservation category, there'll be about $105,000 remaining. And in community housing, there'll be a little over $1 million remaining.
Any further questions or comments?
Total fund is about 3.3.
All right, any further questions or comments? Article 25, all those in favor?
26.
I'm sorry, 26, sorry, 26. All those in favor, please, one more time.
Aye.
All those against? Okay, I think the noes have it.
What? The ayes have it.
Okay? All right.
The ayes have it.
Let's get a count, I want to count that.
Count?
Yeah, I do,
There's only 7 people that voted no.
yeah. It's not the voice volume, it's the number of people that count. Okay, all those in favor, please, raise your hand.
Are this the favor? In favor, let's go.
I think it is in favor, I just want to make sure.
Why is your table more ahead of ours? Jason. He's traveling.
The noes were very, very loud, so I got to make sure. The noes were very loud, but we'll see.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay. Get those counts there.
Oh, you got me.
On the stage. Okay, all those against, raise your hand. Okay, I think the ayes have it. Very loud section back there, that's really cool. All right, we're going to move on now to the next section, and that will be the appropriations.
Okay.
So Article 27, submitted by the town administrator. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
And what is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Recommends favorable action.
Okay, do you want to read the numbers, Kathy?
Yes, they're going to move the town to transfer $82,500 from the fiscal year 2026 Essex Technical School account to the following accounts. $22,000 to snow and ice account removal, $23,000 to technology account, and $37,500 to legal services.
Second.
Second, any discussion?
By way of explanation, this is a transfer within this fiscal year from the Essex Tech account, and it has extra money that we didn't need. But we need a town meeting to do a transfer because it's a school account.
Any further discussion or comments? All those in favor of Article 27?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it.
I'm going to find that one.
That I'm sure about, even with that section. Article 28, submitted by the town administrator. What is the recommendation of the finance board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
And the recommendation of the select board?
Is favorable action.
Kathy, please, motion.
The motion is that the town set the annual spending limits for the 8 revolving accounts established in the general bylaw for fiscal year 2027 as set forth in Article 28 of the warrant.
Second.
Any further discussion or comments? All those in favor of Article 28?
Aye.
Those against? Article 28 passes. Article 29 was submitted by the town administrator. What is the recommendation of the finance board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
And the recommendation of the select board?
Select Board recommends favorable action.
Could you read the motion, please? I know it's a lot of numbers.
Yep, I move that the town transfer the sum of $137,000 from the following: $52,000 from the Groveland Municipal Electric Light Department operation account, $85,000 from the fiscal year 2026 town free cash to reduce the fiscal year 2027 tax rate.
Second.
Do I have any comments or questions? All those in favor of Article 29?
Aye.
Motion passes. Article 30.
Noes?
Oh, noes, I'm sorry.
We're going to have a no out there, we know that.
I think there's got to be a few noes. Any noes? See, I was right. Thank you.
There you go. We can count on you.
I'm going to start with noes next time.
There you go.
Article 30, submitted by the town administrator. Kathy, please, motion.
We'll recommend favorable, and we move that the town establish a school capital stabilization fund and to transfer $125,000 from free cash to said fund.
So your recommendation is favorable. What about the
Finance
finance?
Board recommends favorable action as well.
Second, please. Okay, any questions or
Okay,
comments?
by way of explanation, Mr. Moderator, this is to establish a school stabilization fund to provide a dedicated reserve to support future school capital expenses, because we're responsible for our elementary school.
Any further questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Article passes by 2/3. Yes, thank you. Article 31 was submitted by the Select Board. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board, please?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
Select Board, what is your
We
recommendation?
recommend favorable action.
Kathy, please, could I have the
We make the
motion?
motion to transfer $1,033,124 from free cash to the following accounts: $125,000 to the stabilization account, $150,000 to the capital stabilization fund, $50,000 to the municipal building improvements account, $13,000 to the personnel buyback account, $75,000 to purchase a line cruiser for the police department, $60,000 to purchase mowers for the highway department, $70,000 to purchase a pickup truck for the highway department, $122,124 to purchase trash carts, $15,000 to fund trash and recycling cart disposal, $45,000 for security camera upgrades for the town hall complex on the Pines Recreation Area, $45,000 to purchase a computer server for the town hall complex, $113,000 to purchase tasers for the police department, $15,000 for solar connection upgrades associated with the electrical upgrades for the town hall complex, $10,000 to purchase electronic voting devices, $75,000 to fund Bagnell Elementary School entrance road improvements, and $50,000 to fund the Bagnell Elementary School building improvements.
Second.
Second on the motion. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Ryan Lee from 5 Georgia Street. $113,000 sounds like an awful lot for tasers. I understand it probably includes some training. It does seem that it's twice as much we're spending on mowers for the highway department, which I think get used a lot more than tasers. I was wondering if there's anyone from the police department who could fill us in on how many times in the past year tasers would have helped the police do their job?
I don't know if there's anybody here that can answer that question.
Okay, can I get a form for an amendment, please?
Sure.
I mean, yeah, what, it's an article. We can amend an article. Do we not have tasers?
Okay, folks, so we're going to make, there's an amendment that's being proposed here, and that is, if you take a look at page 35, and you look on the fourth item down, 113,000 to purchase tasers for the police department, the motion to amend is to strike taser funding. In other words, remove that line completely. Is that correct? Correct. Okay. That's the motion. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Okay. Can I have anyone discuss or comment? Go ahead, please. I'll be with you, sir, in a minute.
So I'm Ruth Rivard, 6 Berrywood Lane. I sat on the Finance Committee for the last 10 years. This is the first time that I've been sitting in the audience. And, you know, I know that we had an officer here through most of the night. The night's going a little bit long. She recently left. But I have to say, sitting through 10 years of interviews with all of our departments, the police department is so careful, so frugal, so appropriate. They ask what they need for. They're making an effort to keep our community safe. And I think to just not be part of the review, you know, the Finance Committee reviews public meetings all year long. We've all had our opportunity to speak and have a dialogue about anything that you question before you get to town meeting. I would hate to not fund a safety issue for our town and not give the police officers. I trust them. I know that the asks that they're asking for are vetted. They're priced, they're careful, they're appropriate. I think it would be completely irresponsible to not fund what our public safety officers are asking for on a kind of a whim at times.
Okay, sir?
I have another item. And I don't have to, on this one, I have a different one.
Okay, go ahead.
Why don't we vote on the one item?
You have a question?
Another issue, not this
Not on this one.
Mr. Monterey, can we vote on this one issue first?
Okay, so let's vote on the amended motion to strike the words, the line with the taser request, 113,000 from the police department. All in favor? To strike it. To strike the words, remove it. In other words, not fund it. Yes means to strike it, to remove it. All in favor? Those against?
No.
Okay, so the amended motion fails. Now we're going to go back to the original motion. And that's what you're going to speak to, sir, and that's what you're going to speak to. Go ahead.
Stephanie Bartelt, where do I live? Chestnut Street. Did we already vote to approve using electronic voting devices? So I'm just wondering why the $10,000 is here then if we haven't decided, because I just understand that they've been problematic in other communities.
Mr. Moderator?
Go ahead, please.
So the town Town Meeting Study Committee, is that what it's called? Yes.
That's what we're called,
Right,
yes.
so the Town Meeting Study Committee is still working on that, but we thought it might be a good idea to put aside the money. If we don't go forward with it, obviously, we won't spend it. But if we do go forward with it, we would need funding. And, you know, there's no funding available unless we set some money aside. So this is just a what if.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
So Lee Thomas, 4 Baldwin Terrace. I had this kind of the same issue. Why are we voting to spend money on something that we haven't decided we're going to do yet? I understand provisionally, but it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can do it one way or the other. I mean, you can wait and then you vote to do it, but then you still can't do it for another year until you
Right.
put aside the money. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, which way do you want to go on it?
Yeah.
I guess we thought that rather than waiting 2 years to do it, if the decision is made that it's viable and it looks reasonable and it doesn't cost too much, $10,000 isn't a tremendous amount of money, really. But, you know, it's kind of up to the folks here. If you don't want us to fund this until we know for sure that we're going to bring those electronic voting devices to the meeting, then it will be probably a 2-year wait, because we'll have to vote to do it and then vote to fund it. And then the funding won't be available to the next year.
In that case, I'd like to amend to scratch that one.
So just take
I second.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
May
well,
I-
let's vote on that.
May I comment? Over here, Joe, to your left.
Who would like to comment?
Oh, to your left. Hi. As Emilio Dunn, Town Meeting Study Committee, just wanted to comment that in the study that we did, it was apparent that there was really no negative effect, only a positive effect that would drive more attendance here at the town meeting when we went to the electronic voting. So that was something that there was really no nil effect. So the idea of this was, again, just to appropriate funds in advance so we could bring it to town meeting as soon as possible. That was all.
No, not this time.
All right, so Kathy, let me have that, please. Just 2 seconds. I can't memorize all this. I'll direct your attention to page 35, please. And you look at the 6th item down. What Kathy is proposing on this amendment, motion to amend, is to remove the approval of $10,000 to purchase electronic voting devices. That's the amended motion. Do I have a second on that? Do I have any questions or comments on that? Okay, so on the amended motion, all in favor? Aye. Those against?
We're calling it.
Oh,
Get rid of-
okay.
This is the amendment to get rid of the $10,000 purchasing for the voting machines, is that correct?
That's correct.
On the line item.
That's the motion made, the amended motion, correct.
Yep, they're no good. Yes to get rid of it.
Yes to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Joe 40 from 162 Main.
Thank you very much. So the amended motion is to strike that language, so if you say yes, we remove that line item. $10,000 will not be set aside for electronic voting devices. Is that clear? Everybody? Okay, yes, sir. You have further question? Anybody else? Any further comments or questions? Yes, please.
Lori LeBlanc, 10 Madison Ave. Can you explain what it is? You just keep saying electronic voting devices. Do people understand exactly what the electronic voting device is?
May I comment?
Please do.
Emilio Dunn, Town Meeting Study Committee. So the electronic devices are this little remote, effectively, just like you have a remote for the TV. And on it, you have an array of buttons that you can press. And with that, then you click the button and it will tell you, yes, received or not, to vote on any matter without needing to do the voice vote or needing to do by hand. So the counts are all automatic. It'll make things a little bit more efficient and effective. And that's the idea behind it. Little remotes that are electronic. And the results are shown real time, which is great.
In the interest of full disclosure, I chaired the committee, the town committee for town meeting study committee, and worked on that committee with Emilio, but I will not comment as I'm in this role. Any questions or comments? Go ahead, Ray.
Just one clarifying point. I just want to confirm the size of the trash carts for 122,124. What size are we buying gallon-wise?
65 gallon.
65.
65 gallon.
65, thanks.
All right, let's, can I have any further questions or comments? Yes, sir, regarding the motion as amended. Just the amendment.
Yeah, just the amendment.
Did I scare you? I mean, you're welcome to come back and talk about anything else if you'd like. You've got something else? Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Those against?
No.
Okay, so therefore, striking that language did not happen.
Correct. Now what?
The original motion stands as written. I'm going to, we have a, go ahead, somebody has a question? Yes, sir. So it is regarding this. Go ahead, yes, I wasn't, go ahead.
Different, not this thing.
Okay.
So for just like the existing budget, the one line item for, I'm sorry, I'm Anthony Gentili, 418 Main Street. There's one item for basically a server for the town hall complex at $45,000 USD. So like $45,000 is basically like a blade rack server, right? That's like a pretty hefty server for like a population of about 7,000 people. So I was kind of curious, like, what the context was in terms of that. And not that that's not unreasonable, considering computer parts are pretty much through the roof right now, but I was wondering if we had context on that and if it had to be $45,000 USD, like if it could be a smaller server.
Well, I'm a technophobe, but maybe somebody can answer that question. Does anybody have an answer to that question or a comment? Because I wouldn't know. Well, sir, we appreciate your comment, but I don't think, what's that?
Let's move the question.
Hold on. That's a good question.
So I guess I'm Steve Baker. Obviously, I'm on the IT steering committee in town as well. So part of what we're doing is modernizing our infrastructure from a technology standpoint, as well as doing some consolidation. We've had some performance issues you may have seen, things like that, with certain applications. We also host a lot of our own applications in-house. So, based on that, based on the consolidation effort, bringing things together, that's the estimated cost. Hopefully it comes in lower, but.
And then also, based upon the quote, we have a total quote that we received for $35,720, so it's a little less than what was put in the actual allocation, but given that we're not sure if there's going to be any issues that arise or anything like that, we added a contingency to that number, so that's why it's higher than what we have as part of the estimate that we received as well.
I see. Is this just for the server, though, or is this including like IT migration services and applications to that server?
It also includes IT.
All of it? Okay.
All of it, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Any further questions or comments? Any clarification needed on any one of these line items? Article 31, all in favor? Aye. Those against? Article 31 passes. Article 32 requires a 2/3 majority. Submitted by the town administrator. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board strongly recommends favorable action.
Strongly, okay. What is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Select Board even more strongly recommends favorable.
We're getting stronger as it's getting late. That's beautiful.
And the motion is...
Could I have a motion, please?
Yes.
A lot of big numbers here. Go ahead.
Move that the town appropriate $2,650,000 to pay the cost of engineering, design, and replacing the roofs and upgrading the electrical system at the Town Hall complex, including all costs incidental or related thereto. And to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the Select Board, is authorized to borrow said sum under and pursuant to Chapter 44 of the Massachusetts General Laws or any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town under town therefore, and that the select board is authorized to take any other action necessary or convenient to carry out the project.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Any clarification on that?
Yep. We got to do it.
So comment made from the floor, that's a lot of money. Would anybody like to expand on that a little bit?
It's long overdue. If we don't take care of these roofs and the electrical system, our town buildings will need to be replaced if that's what you'd rather do. I think that'll cost a lot more than maintaining these buildings. So we're trying to keep this without an override, without asking for any raise in taxes. We're doing it within the budget by borrowing and getting this done.
Any further questions or comments? 2/3 vote required. Article 32, all in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Article 32 passes. Article 33 was submitted by the Cable Department. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Select Board recommends favorable action.
Kathy, the motion, please.
And we make the motion for the town to appropriate or transfer from PEG Access and Cable-Related Fund the sum of $150,000 to be expended under the direction of the town administrator to fund cable access services, salaries, supplies, and equipment for fiscal year 2027.
I have a second, please.
Second.
Any discussion or comments?
By way of explanation, I will say that this funding does not come from your tax rate. It comes from a fee that is charged on cable.
Any further questions or comments? All those in favor of Article 33?
Aye.
Those against? Article 33 passes. Article 34 was submitted by the town administrator. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
Recommendation of the Select Board?
Favorable action.
Kathy, kindly, please.
And we make a motion to appropriate $4,016 from the premium received upon the sale of bonds or notes issued for the Center Street land purchase to pay costs of the project being financed by the bonds or notes and to reduce the amount authorized to be borrowed for the project by the same amount.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Clarification? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Article 34 passes. Article 35, just a point of clarification, we have documents there to look at the lines of the budget. This is the budget, the big one. And this one here, we will not entertain taking numbers and taking it apart and deleting things, just like the other numbers we did before. Article 35, could I, what is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the Select Board?
Select Board recommends favorable action.
Okay, the motion, please, and with the numbers, please.
We move that the town raise and appropriate the sum of $25,041,477 to meet the salaries and wages of town officers and employees, expense and outlays of the town departments, and other sundry and miscellaneous, but regular expenditures necessary for the operation of the town for fiscal year 2027 allocated as follows: general government, $2,753,561. Public safety, $2,453,247. Education, $15,615,903. Public Works, $1,833,125. Human Services, $346,202. Library, $394,281. Debt Service, $486,924. Unclassified, $1,158,234. A total budget for town operations of $25,041,477.
Second.
All right, folks, this is our budget, so I want to slow down just a second here. If you have a concern, a question, you need some clarification, or if you're aware of any one of these categories as something you know well, please bring it up. Any questions or comments or clarification, please?
Mr. Moderator?
Yes, please.
If I could say, this is a balanced budget. It is within Proposition 2.5%. It's not an easy thing for our town departments to pull this together. There's a lot of give and take both within departments and between departments. And we would genuinely ask you to be supportive of it unless you have a really significant concern, because this is what keeps our town running.
Thank you. Anybody else? Finance? Okay, Greg?
Hi, Greg Lebrecht, Baldwin Terrace. First of all, congratulations to putting it all together. It was really wonderful to go through it. And I'm not going to ask anybody to change anything in this budget. But what I do want everybody to be aware of is next year, because I've done budgets for the school and I've done budgets for the town, Whittier and Pentucket are going to be crushing to your town. When the quarry comes online, which is barely valued at half a house right now, you'll get some more money from them, no doubt about it. But the state is going to value your town tax-wise for that development, and your net minimum spending is going to go up. And when the kids come in, that's going to go up. So you got by this year by adding employees and adding a few things and stuff like that, because you saved money on trash and a little bit on Whittier and a little bit on Essex Tech. But that won't carry forward. So don't be surprised next year when Pentucket's budget goes up 3% and Whittier's goes up 3%, the state gives them no additional money, so it's really 6% of the towns, and your share can become 8 or 9% of what could be $1.5 million. You really could be looking at an increase of about $800,000 to $900,000. So it's something you should keep in mind, because I have a feeling next year everybody's going to be sitting here screaming bloody blue murder that the school's killing us. And partly so they are, because the state requires them to do it. That's just the way the formula works. So keep that in mind as you go through this, because next year is not going to be real pretty. Thanks.
Anybody in the audience or commission or board would like to respond to that?
Mr. Moderator?
Yes.
Yes, I mean, I've worked in finance. I teach math now. I've worked on the select board for years. I've worked on the finance board for years. And I also understand the nuances of the school allocation budgets. And it's all relative. It depends on our percentage of the enrollment versus Merrimack's percentage of the enrollment versus West Newbury's percentage of the enrollment. It depends on percentages. And we're watching those. And yes, we have added a position here or there, but they're few and far between in this town. We run a very tight ship in this town. If you compare our staffing to any town around us, and I mean literally any town around us, I challenge you to find a town that has fewer people doing all the work that we have being done. I mean, yes, we've added a few employees over the years, but they are essential to the maintenance and the running of our town. You can't run a town without a town planner. You can't manage a town without a town administrator. The town administrator can't do everything without an executive administrator. These are required essential positions, and these people work way beyond the hours that we ask of them. And I just would like to see a simple support for these services, because they do a phenomenal job.
Bill?
I'm real sorry. I don't think I questioned the ability of our town employees or said that we had too many. I said that they're coming in. All I'm saying, warning you going forward, there's going to be factors outside your control that are going to put a heavy, heavy push on this budget. And right now, I mean, we're putting things aside. We are. Elm Park looks like hell. Those trees haven't been trimmed, the monuments haven't been cleaned, the gazebo's falling apart, the light poles are all oxidizing, the town hall complex driveway needs to be sealed and relined. I'm just saying, we have other things we need to do too, to keep I'm just saying, be aware of this.
Thank you. Comment?
Yeah, Greg, we have a lot of anxiety over this budget every year, believe me. I've been on this 12 years, 14 years, I don't know. It's always the biggest nut on the budget, let's face it. Unfortunately, I was hoping to get some answers about what the state can do for us, but I see that one of our elected officials is no longer with us, so we can't answer that question. We can't even ask that question. And it's sad that we can't get the necessary funding from the state level that this town needs. It's not only our town, Greg. You look over the entire state, every city and town in this state is facing the same crunch that we are, and it's all about education. It's all about the lack of resources coming down from the state level to help us fund the community and the educational requirements that we need. We're very well aware of it, and I think that's probably why somebody left early before they could get to that question. And listen, anything we can do, you need to call your legislatures. You need to, that's where the pressure needs to come from. You can put all the pressure you want on this board and this board, but the fact is we don't have the pocket. We don't control the purse, right? The purse comes from Beacon Hill. You want the purse to give you a little more money? You folks need to put the pressure on them. You folks need to start writing the letters. You folks need to start making the calls. You folks need to make them feel the outrage that we feel trying to support this. Because I've told them many times, this town will look like Flint, Michigan in 10 years if something isn't done. That's a fact, because we can no longer support this. We're on the 2.5% by law, right? School's never at 2.5%, so right away we're always at odds. We're always afar apart. These things can't continue, unsustainable. It's not sustainable over a long term. You know it as well as I do because you run both sides of the streets, right? What's your solution?
Thank you. Article 35, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Okay, the budget passes. Article 35. Thank you, Greg. I'm the only one in the room that's looking forward to next year's meeting. Article 36 was submitted by the town administrator. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
What is the recommendation of the Select Board, please?
Select Board recommends favorable.
Kathy, the motion?
Make a motion to fix the salary and compensation of the following elective officers of the town of Groveland as provided by Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 108, as amended. Moderator, Select Board, Assessors, Clerk, Planning Board, Cemetery Commissioner, Water and Sewer Commission, and Board of Health for fiscal year 2027.
Second.
Do I have a second? Any questions or comments? Clarification? Okay. All those in favor of Article 36?
Aye.
Those against? And that ends our appropriations. We're down to 3 enterprise fund issues or articles. Article 37 was submitted by the Water and Sewer Commissioner. It was voted on January 5th of this year. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
And the recommendation of the Select Board?
Favorable action.
Motion, please.
Move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $1,777,240 to fund the Water Department salaries and expenses for FY 2027, said sum to be offset by fiscal year 2027 Water Department revenue.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of Article 37?
Aye.
Those against? Article 37 passes. Article 38 was submitted by the Water and Sewer Commission, voted on January 5th, 2026. What is the recommendation of the Finance Board?
Finance Board recommends favorable action.
And the recommendation of the Select Board?
Favorable.
The motion, please, Kathy.
Town, we move to raise and appropriate the sum of $753,053. Let me say that better. It's $753,753 to fund the Sewer Department salaries and expenses for FY 2027, said sum to be offset by fiscal year 2027 Sewer Department revenue.
Second.
Second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of Article 38?
Aye.
Those against? Article 38 passes. Article 39 was submitted by the Water and Sewer Commission, voted on March 11th of 2026. Motion, please. I'm sorry, recommendation of the Finance Board.
Board recommends favorable action.
And recommendation of,
Select Board recommends favorable action.
okay, motion, please.
The motion is for the town to transfer the sum of $300,000 from the water retained earnings to be used to continue the lead service line identification project.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? Any clarification on that? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Article 39 passes. That concludes the review of all of our articles. Congratulations. Do I have a motion to end our meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
No discussion. Have a good night. Drive safely. Thank you.